So while the faculty discuss which of them are going to sit at the table and which of them
We're all
are...
going to sit at the table.
Oh, okay.
Somebody, we're going to do
Great.
laps.
Great. Except me.
Not you.
I will not be at the table. Okay.
That's a great idea. In the red chair as well, which is even better. I'll sit here in your other seat.
Left-handed, I got the corner. Yeah.
I'm gonna sit right next to you then.
Oh, you're left-handed too?
Yup.
All right.
Oh, that's gonna work.
All right. It's gonna fall off the edge.
I'm right-handed, and I like to hold John's knee. So,
Good old-fashioned
I'm feeling threatened again.
graphite and
sorry, unsafe.
pulp technology.
Okie dokie.
Pass them
Most interactive, the most interactive
Oh, yeah.
media ever.
Now I don't get to do the work that I was
How many projects are there in total?
9.
9. Good fucking lord. Yeah, it'll pay for that.
Found a guy who lives in Paris.
Okay, so just a couple things before we get started.
60 years.
We have 9 presentations to go through tonight. We're going to try to do 4, and then we're going to have an intermission with pizza and soft drinks.
Everybody is here? Not just for us?
The pizza's from Reginelli's, so don't get too excited.
Sorry. Thank you.
But we can't bring the pizza into Noonamaker. So we need to have an intermission, go up into the lobby, have pizza and soft drinks, and then come back for the remaining presentations. I want to thank everybody, the faculty and students, for participating in this. This is the first time we've ever done this here at Noonamaker. So we are trying to up our game a little bit with these presentations. And we don't know how well it's going to work or what it's going to be like, but we hope for the best.
Set that bar on, please.
We have UP Cooper. Kate Duncan. Elizabeth Kelly. Billy O'Connell.
She helps me with my homework.
And our fearless leader, John Snyder.
Oh, it's all about you and UP, apparently. So excited to fucking
And we have Jay Crudy here. He's helping with the video production, but he's also watching the presentations. Okay. The project groups this semester have been asked to do all the usual things that the intro projects groups do. They've signed an artist, they've recorded a song, they've produced a live show, they've produced a video, they've produced a business plan, including a prospective plan to invest an imaginary $250,000 in capital. They've produced necessary legal documents, including at a bare minimum their agreement with their artist and their agreement among each other, the releases for anyone creatively involved in their song and video, their live show contract, and so on and so forth. They will all write individual papers about their experience with the projects. And they're doing a few things that are new for the first time this semester. We change the project a little bit every semester. So this semester, for the first time, each person participating in a group was asked to invest $20 of their own money in the group, giving each group either $100 or $120. They were encouraged to try to earn this money back. Some of them have, some of them haven't. Also, each group was required, not simply encouraged as in the past, but required to have their artist register with a PRO of their choice. And each group was required, not simply encouraged as in the past, but required to distribute their music through the paid streaming and download channels through one of the aggregators and not simply through SoundCloud. And the other thing that's new this semester is this, doing this in here. And so without further ado, I'm going to ask the first group to come up, which is Platinum Sound Productions. Jenner, you're going to need to type in your password. And to the faculty, I'm just going to say that since we have a lot of groups to get through, Your comments should be brilliant and incisive and pithy and brief.
That's to you.
And
Oh, I know.
we do want to hear from as many faculty members as have something to say on each presentation, but we need to keep it moving, obviously. When each group finishes their presentation and we go into Q&A, the next group to present will be called up to set their presentation up. So while these guys are taking questions, the next group will be up here at the laptop getting their presentation and video ready. Alrighty. First group, Platinum Sound Productions. Their artist was A.J. Diedrich, and their manager is Bridget Berkeley. And here you go, Bridget.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out on this rainy Sunday. I'm a proud member of Platinum Sound Productions, and like Dr. Lowe said, I'm the manager. And our group members are listed here in the corner. So Platinum Sound Productions, the first thing we did before we even talked about an artist was figuring out what our brand was. And you know, that becomes with a brand and an image, but even beyond that, we had to figure out exactly what we were working towards. So it's really important for us to align our visions and have a certain end goal, even though we're all working from these different entities. And then from there, it was really important for us to show that we're confident in our knowledge of the music industry. So when our artist comes in, we are totally prepared. All of our members are there on time. And outside of that, we also have a bunch of group messages and ways to communicate through Google. So it's just really important for us to have that communication platform. And from that came our mission statement. So it's pretty simple. It's to create incredible music. And with an inclusive and dedicated team, our artists find the support they need to push their creative boundaries. And like Dr. Lowe said, our artist was Aiden Jacob, and Ian is going to tell you a little more about him.
Thanks, Bridget. So this is the logo that we made for our artist, Aiden Jacob, and we thought that it would help, brand his image the way that he wanted it to be. So, as if you can see him here, he looks like a pretty average guy. To me, he doesn't really look like a musician in this photo, and we wanted to change that. We wanted to brand him to be the type of musician that he wanted to be. So, this is the transition. Now we have a classy, relatable artist who's good at their craft. And when you hear his music, you hear elegance. And so we wanted to create that through his image and brand, elegance. So, first and foremost, Aiden Jacob is a musician. He composes, writes, and plays all of his own music. And so this makes him very versatile. And so we wanted to have that versatility be a part of his image and brand, and I'm gonna let my friend Nate tell you a little bit about that. Here you go, Nate.
Sweet, thanks, Ian. So for Platinum Sounds Productions, why Aiden Jacob? Aiden, he's talented, he's classically trained, he's versatile. Check out the Smash Mouth arrangement, pretty cool. And he wants it. There's no question that AJ wants to be a professional musician, and he's also mature enough to know that he can't do it alone. He needs the help of his team. And when we first had the idea for the song The Endless Road, we had the idea for piano, a female singer, and a male singer. And through our interview process, we were so fortunate to come across Kaylin O'Hara and Kendra Mason. Here are two people who are both classically trained, and they both have an excellent theater background. And both of their voices worked really, really well with the song. And because of their theater background, they were able to add a real drama and tension to the song and help create the story. And here to talk about how the story became a visual is Miles.
Thank you, Nate. So I'm going to start by showing you guys the first little part of our music video. This is Endless Road with A.J. Diedrich, Kentro, and Caitlin.
It's a long way down. Watch where you step, don't make a sound. The world's against us, don't you know? It's just us all alone.
Playing their games, but they're changing.
Yes, so what you guys didn't see in that video, though, was how much of a roller coaster of a process it was to actually get this done. We had our first location. We had everything storyboarded and scripted and ready to shoot. And on the day we were supposed to go shoot, they ended up telling us we couldn't shoot there, so we had to relocate. And at this point, the deadlines were approaching and caused a lot of anxiety and stress in our group. But it ended up actually being a huge silver lining because the location we went to, the one that you guys saw in that video, literally had every look, aesthetic, theme we were going for, and it fit it perfectly. Because the song really is, when you think about it, it's about falling in and out of love. It's about going through struggles in your relationship, which can be a really isolating experience. And you can see, like in the shot in the bottom left there, like they're caged in together. And there's all this beauty and scenery surrounding them, but they can only see it from a distance. They can't actually reach it. And the reason we threw those clips in of them together is because the only time that they can actually get through this is when they're with the person that they love, which is the message and the theme of the song. So here to talk to you more about the marketing strategy behind the video and social media is Ian.
Hi, thanks, Miles. So we chose to focus on two major platforms for social media, Instagram and Facebook. And the reason we chose these is because this is where we thought that his potential audience, they would be on these both of these platforms. Before we met him, he had a pretty dry social media, but we made him a Facebook page. And the Facebook page in the past month has gotten 17 likes, 18 followers. We've posted 7 times, got it on 890 people's timelines. We've had 246 engagements and 23 page views. We made a content calendar, as you can see right here. So everything that we posted was planned and meticulous. Nothing was just posted willy-nilly. We had the captions ready. We had the photos ready. We knew what we were going to post. Now, as for the distribution of Endless Road, we have it on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon, and many other platforms through TuneCore, which we paid a $10 flat rate for the year. So they're all going to be up there for a year. But before this, we had it on SoundCloud, where it had about 300 plays. And the music video is on YouTube as well, which has been gaining plays steadily every day. It's been growing since we put it up about a week after spring break. So AidenJacob.org is the website Platinum Sounds made for our artist, Aiden Jacob, to promote his music and events. As you can see, we have 3 main pages, about, contact, and music. And on every single one of those pages, you can find his Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube links. Now, as for the email list, we did struggle getting people to sign up for our email list, but at the live show, that changed a little bit, and I'm gonna let Nate tell you how that happened.
Yeah, so one way we were able to get people to sign up for our email list was giving them an incentive, $2 off the door of their show admission at the Willow. And as a result, we were able to collect 40 emails at our live show. And for our live show, we booked the Willow with 2 other groups, Jordan and Dave States of Mind, who were excellent. And this was mutually beneficial for all the groups, I feel. More artists created a bigger draw. We also had access to each other's fans and vice versa. And we collected $200 at the door, which isn't bad for Wednesday night, you know. We had a diverse crowd, even some random people off the street. For that, the Willow took $125 for expenses, and we split the rest between the groups. And when it came to our time for our live performances, we brought a 7-piece band with us, which was really awesome. And we were able to coordinate, get everybody on time, transported with their instruments. And again, AJ showed his versatility by arranging the scores for 8 separate pieces. So now here's Greg to talk about our strengths and challenges of our group.
Thanks, Nate. So the biggest strength that our group had was definitely all the talents that we brought to the table. And through these talents, we were able to, create our logo, flyer, and a well-edited video by Miles. And so, but our marketing strengths, our Facebook, as Ian was saying, was doing really well, and which helped to allow our distribution of Endless Road, and brought it to our live showcase where Nate said where we worked with 2 other intro project groups to bring in more of a crowd and draw attention. But our overall strength was most definitely the attitude that we brought into this project. Without a doubt, we all kept an open mind about our final product. So now some of the challenges that we faced. So for a creative challenge, it was deciding on our exact vision for our end product. We went through so many different possibilities, but we finally came to a decision on this one. Marketing challenge, his Instagram presence is a little lacking, but we're working on that. And promoting the song on Spotify, we want to get him over 250 followers to get him to be on, other recommended playlists and be verified. And some live show challenges that we have is that, the audience can always be bigger. and we need to just work on that in general. But the overall challenges that we faced was definitely scheduling between all of us, and that everybody has their own ideas and visions when it comes to music in general. But we were able to push all those differences aside, come together, and form one final product, and that is Aiden Jacob. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. While you guys are taking a few questions from the faculty, I'll ask Michelle and Riley and the rest of Barebones Records to come on up discreetly behind them and start setting up for your presentation.
Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one comment about the way you got emails, and I thought that was very smart. And
Thank you.
I mean, I can honestly tell you that's something we've done in the past also. So something like that is very smart, and I was impressed with that.
Thank you. Yeah, we found it really helpful to reach out directly rather than digitally to people to get emails. They were a lot more forthcoming with them.
Very smart.
So if you talked about this, I apologize, but I didn't hear any mention of the outsourcing of the design on the poster.
Right. I actually created both of the logos myself, and then we did hire Sean Weiser Flyers, to make the poster.
Okay, how did you come across that decision, and was that group
Yeah,
or was
once
that
we-
with all three of you?
Sorry, yeah. Once we got the three groups together and kind of figured out like the theme of the show and how we wanted it to kind of be edited as, I just reached out to Sean because I know him personally and asked if he would do it. Offered to pay him, he refused, which was really nice of him. But yeah, we gave him free admission to the show, and it was a great trade-off.
Nicely done. I thought your presentation was good. I thought you had good transitions from person to person. You seemed really well rehearsed, so really well done there.
Thank you.
And I thought your slides looked good. I liked the logo and everything. My only question was, are you working with Aiden primarily as a songwriter or also as a performer? Because I didn't really get that from your presentation.
So I would almost say both. Actually, in our prospectus, we're hoping to put in our main goal for him is to get a publishing deal, hopefully some sync licenses with commercials and that sort of thing in the future. But as of now, of course, a performer first and foremost, and then hopefully a songwriter in the future.
Okay, thank you.
I have a small quibble with your tagline. You guys aren't creating incredible music. Your artist creates, and you're in support of that artist. Okay, so try to just remember that it's all about the artist. It's all about the music. You guys did a really good job of supporting and helping bring that stuff to market. But let's remember who's who.
Absolutely.
I liked the before and after technique in your presentation. I also think your presentation was well rehearsed and tight. You guys did a really good job. The fact that you found an image word that you could reference from time to time, and I think it was elegance. Is that right? And you that's important because you can hold yourself to that. Everything you do communicates, and so if what you're trying to do is communicate, well, you need to know what you're communicating, and you need to be able to make choices based on that. So, good job on that. I thought the video and the song were pretty strong. I need to hear more about marketing besides socials. I'm really delighted to see the email stuff. I was jumping out of my seat when I heard you say that it was hard to get emails when you just had the form on the site. And I immediately made a note, like, you incentivize emails. And then the next thing you said was, you incentivized emails, which is totally great. And the reason that you were able to do so well at the live gigs also is because that live show is where everything happens. That live show, you do the entire cha-cha-cha of marketing. Create awareness, build connection, monetize the connection. Monetization in this case is collecting that email address. That's awesome. That's why I will never manage an artist that doesn't play live. You have to incorporate that into everything. I want to know why TuneCore, or at least have you asked yourselves why TuneCore when there's DistroKid out there? And I'd like to know the justification for TuneCore.
Greg, I think you'd have an answer.
Oh, you don't really? Yeah, all right, that's cool.
It was just one of the options we had. Just saw it fit.
Okay, just is a really bad reason. Don't just. Give me a reason that you chose TuneCore. What was the benefit of TuneCore over DistroKid, over CD Baby, over any other choice that you might have had? And I would urge you to think about DistroKid. I have
Yes, sir.
no investment stake in DistroKid.
Yes, sir.
Facebook is not a website. Socials are not marketing, are not all the marketing you do. Broaden your definition of marketing. Understand that everything's about connecting, about owning data, being able to measure things, driving people to your website. Just as you incentivized email signups, you have to incentivize visits to the website so that you can get people into your world, into something you own. None of you own Facebook, except if you have stock. If you own stock, that's fine. But none of you own Facebook as a property. It'll change. It'll go away, just as MySpace went away. Bandcamp is not yours. SoundCloud is not yours. You need to have your work exist on something you own, something where you gather the data and you can't have anything taken away, changed, okay? Use Facebook, use Twitter, use Instagram, all that stuff. Use them because they use you, but own your stuff. I thought your goals were good, and I wanted to hear more about measurement, measurement of progress toward goals. But thank you, you did a good job.
So I'd like to say something about the content. The website has a few problems. There's nothing personal on there. You're not really communicating with people effectively. You're using the same graphic on every page. You don't post your links to your SoundCloud, and your videos are not embedded. They take the people off the site. Not generally a good idea to leave the site. You might want to check that out. I thought the song was good. I thought the singers were very good. The production was different. You know, the horns were good, a little out of tune, but still pretty good. I thought the video wasn't even on the site that I could see.
Wasn't what?
I didn't see the video on the site. Is it on the site?
on to a different YouTube page, but I agree, it should
Yeah,
be
it's
directly
not.
on the
Yeah,
website.
I think so. It looks like you got busted at the end of the video. Looks like the cops came up and said something. Is that what happened?
The park is closing.
Yeah, the park was closing and they kicked us out.
Good job. No, I enjoyed the song. I thought it was good and excellent singers. Thanks very much.
I know I'm not supposed to talk anymore, but John brought up a really important point. That website is the thing you own. Let me underscore that, right? And so everything you have lives on the website. Everything you have has to be there. You want that to be the definitive. You can't have a thing not found on your website.
You also want to communicate with people on the site. The sites are living and they're dead. And every site in this group is kind of dead because it didn't really say anything. They're not trying to sell anything. There's no communication really. The bios could be longer. There could be more information about the people. There's not one thing on the site about the singers. So there's no reason to contact. You have a contact form, but there's nothing. We're not selling it up. You're not upselling it. Why contact us? So I think you might want to give some thought to that. But otherwise, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's hear it one more time for Platinum. Out of the 9 groups, we have 7 who have Loyola artists, 1 who has an outside artist, and this group has a Tulane artist. And their name is Barebones Records. Their artist is The Bummers. And their co-managers are Michelle Freestadt and Riley Mort. So who's taking it away first? Okay, Michelle.
Hi, everyone. So like Lo said, we are Barebones Records. We are a record label based in New Orleans that formed in late January. And we're going to talk to you about the artists we signed and what we've done since then. So our mission as a label is to sign and represent authentic and unique artists and inspire and guide them to reach their full artist potential. In the middle of February, we signed The Bummers, a local alt-rock, post-punk New Orleans artist that wasn't signed to anyone yet, and they are made up of 4 members, Ben and Sean, who are the guitarists and lead vocalists, as well as the songwriters, and the bassist Clay and the drummer Sean. And Riley here is going to talk to you about what we've done since we signed them.
Thank you, Michelle. So when we signed them on February 15th of this year, they had very little social media presence. They had no website. They had no music videos out. They were not associated with any of the major PROs. They did not have an email list, and they had never signed any official legal documents as a band. Today, all that has changed, and we helped them to accomplish all of that. Kevin, in a moment, is going to talk to you about everything that we've done with their social media and their online presence. He also helped to create the website. When we created that email list, like the previous group, we also had some trouble initially getting people to sign up. But when we booked them a show at the Howlin' Wolf, We had a similar promotion where we paid $35 out of our own budget to make stickers for them, and then we traded stickers in exchange for signing people's email lists, and we got approximately 50 emails in that way, and so that was really successful for us as well. And then Kanaka will help talk about the legal documents and their music video.
Upon signing the Bummers, we consulted with several people for the purpose of branding and promoting the band, for the creation of the logo for our record label that was shown earlier. We hired a local graphic designer, Olivia Paletti, to make one for us. Next, we decided to set up a photo shoot for the Bummers so that we could use photos to promote them on social media accounts and show uniformity between all of them. The photo shoot consisted of multiple locations, such as like a band member's house, the French Quarter, etc. For this, we also hired Olivia Paletti because she started showing interest in the band, and that was really important to us. Then for the music video, upon discussing the process with the band, we decided to film it ourselves, as the band wanted a 90s theme video, so there's no need for fancy equipment. However, we did hire a local video editor so that it would be professional as possible. Now I'm going to show the music video. Okay. Sorry, I'm not familiar with this. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to hand it off to Kevin to talk about live shows.
Yeah, so this semester we actually, the Bummers played 4 shows with us, and of those, we actually scheduled their show at the Howlin' Wolf and the Willow. So as we mentioned before, we were collecting email lists during those shows, and as Riley said, we did incentivize that with the stickers. And we actually were able to get a good amount of people out there. I created 2 Facebook events for both of the ones that we managed, and we got 37 people at the Howlin' Wolf and 54 at the Willow. So when we got, as mentioned before, they already were a pre-existing band, so they had their social media, but as other groups I've run into, I'm sure it's kind of pretty cut and dry, so we tried to use the photos from the photo shoot we had to let everyone know what was going on. We posted at least 4 times a week, and that was in conjunction with the Bummers. They wanted to also remain a little bit autonomous, so they took 2 posts a week. I would usually do 1, and Michelle would also help and do that. So through that, we were able to get them over 1,106 likes on Facebook, 526 followers on Twitter, 1,140 followers on Instagram, and the YouTube views comes from their Facebook, not Facebook, from the music video we shot from them and promoted over their Facebook. Yeah, and as you can see, our insights through the Facebook app showed us that we reached over 1,600 people with these posts, and then again, reiterates the amount of followers we gained during this time. So I'm going to pass it. Also, the website I worked on is here. Let me see if I can open it real quick. Yeah, as you can see, it comes up with a photo of the band. There's the email list right at the bottom. It has an about us, all their music, their videos, a photo gallery, and a contact page. So I'll hand it off to, here we go again with this. Yeah, thanks. I'm going to hand it over to Kanaka now with the perspective.
Thank you, Kevin. We are thinking that given $250,000 will be split into these following plans. First, we will spend $160,000 for a United States tour of 24 cities. $40,000 is on studio time, and $24,000 is to create their next 6 music videos, and $16,000 is for promotion and marketing to make the Bummers' name known more, and $10,000 will be for salaries because we will need many employees, especially for tours.
Thanks, Kanako. So in terms of making that money back, as you can see, we plan to spend a lot of it on our tour. We don't plan to break even on that tour, just being realistic, but we want to use that to grow our fan base and to help establish a brand and a name. And then we will make our money back primarily through the use of things like sync licensing and record sales. In conclusion, we've been really excited to work with the Bummers, and we're really looking forward to the direction that they're going in.
Yeah, we're really excited about the future and would love for you guys to be a part of it. We wouldn't want you to miss out because I don't think you'd want to either in the future once you see how much success they've made. Thank you.
Is there an order? Do we go in order? All right. Good, great that you're incentivizing emails, but my next question is what are your plans for those emails? What do you do with them?
Like a newsletter. Eventually we found a monthly blast to everyone who signs up, what the band's been working on, and let them know about upcoming shows and stuff like that.
Great, good to hear. I mean, being able to do something where you're telling your story, you need to, the whole idea is that we can create awareness and we can ask for money, but without building real connection, there's nothing there. Nobody's going to give you money. It's just why, right? Why? So you need to build a real emotional connection. Great growth in your socials, certainly. YouTube views, I wondered, you're measuring views, but I'd really be interested in generating subscriptions on YouTube. Subscribers are more valuable than, and will drive views, of course. I had to get my phone out and run a calculation on the 160 grand in tour support for 24 cities. That's like $6,600 a show. What can I go on tour with you?
Yeah,
right. I mean, what are you doing to spend money like that? It doesn't make any sense. Not for a basically garage band playing clubs. It seemed like a total disconnect and a crazy made up number. So, can somebody justify that? Okay, that's cool. I just had to ask. Somebody else?
Yeah. Oh.
No, I just real quick, not to stop you, but I was gonna say the exact same thing he did. I mean, those numbers were kind of like, wow, so especially the tour. Now, I like the salaries. I think that's smart because when artists do go on tour and they're signed, that's the least, their salaries are the last thing that we're worried about. We're about, they'll make money on the back end, but yeah, that tour thing was like, wow, that was pretty out there. So
when my math was bad, I bought it. I was like $666 a show. That's reasonable. And then I was like, what?
Extra decimal point. So I'm having a hard time feeling like you guys were connected directly with the artist. Billy used the term in support of, with the previous group, and it was hard to suss that out for you guys. And this is not a slight to you necessarily, but the video content, it seemed haphazard. It seemed, la la la. Oh, there's a video camera happening and we're a music band. Okay, cool, guys. Like, it didn't seem like it was a cohesive presentation from that band of their music.
We discussed it with them, and they kind of wanted to do like a day in the life of the Bummers, or just like what they would be doing hanging out. So that's why it seems a little bit disconnected.
Yeah, it was just, there was a piece of disjunct for me. And the web design, I'm looking at your website, and I think WordPress is a little bit more malleable than what I'm seeing. The web design wasn't my favorite.
It was really weird because the domain is bombers.com, and so originally I said, oh, we'll purchase that for them, but it turns out one of their mothers had already purchased it, and through GoDaddy, so it's the weird combination of GoDaddy's website builder and WordPress. So
Okay. Yeah, there's just all this, use your negative space for sure when you're designing, use that white space, but there's so much white space just on that left-hand side, and I don't know, it doesn't feel like we're this whole thing now. It seemed like we're taking the first step as a band.
There's no text on every page, there's no
Yeah.
explanation, there's no personal connection. There's skimpy about the us, there's nothing about the individuals. You're asking people to join your mailing list without giving them a good reason why, and you ask right off the bat, which is a little bit premature. sure. No schedule of gigs, you know, but the song is really good.
And when I click on a photo, I'd love to see the blow up extra window external link to it. That I can,
It's called a light box, and there's plenty of plugins that do that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you guys worked a lot on that website, and I think putting more text on it would help fill it out more, because I know it was tough to kind of get it just to do what you wanted it to do. One small thing, pet peeve of mine, in presentations, don't put a URL in your slide, like for YouTube or for the website, that you then click to go somewhere else. It just kind of looks messy. We don't need to see that. Put some text there that says, like, click here for video, if you have to include something like that. But nicely done.
There's a lot of alcohol in the video. So you say day in the life, like those guys are drinking too much.
Not necessarily just like hanging out. Yeah,
Well, like if it was going to be like a funny day in the life, like you got to go way further than that. You know, if it's going to be a serious day in the life, then you got to give us a lot more information. I didn't get that it was a day in the life.
It's actually that, sorry, I maybe should have explained that more. That actually connects to the song. I don't know if, I'm sure you guys have the lyrics in because we sent that. But if you like read the lyrics, it's kind of like talking about today's day and age, also like, and how we like feel about like politics and everything going on, and kind of how the world works in terms of like the rich people getting richer, and like some people just can't like really, that's what the song's about. And it's, the whole thing is like mix me a potion and make me forget all this. And so it's like saying like sometimes people feel like they just need a drink to forget what's going on in the world.
I just think you just didn't go far enough with it.
Well, that and I totally get that it links to the lyrics, but guess what? Most viewers don't have the lyrics sent to them ahead of time, and they need to be, this stuff has to be delivered to them in the content rather than as a supplemental piece of, you know, documentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's the legal person? So you've got all the documents. I didn't see much about the documents. You did give a little bit about the budget, but not much about the other legal issues involved. You did sign the band. You did get mechanical licenses and all that kind of stuff. Curious.
I'm going to join the chorus and say that 160,000 is too much for tour support unless they're going to be out for 3 solid years or more in a Mercedes. I also agree with Kate that I didn't quite, given how on the ball you guys are and your presentation's organized, your work for the project is organized, but I didn't get that much sense of the artist, their music, what's special about the band. But I congratulate you guys on doing, you know, a real professional job with this presentation. Let's hear it one more time for Barebones Records. And Misty, you guys can come on up. I want to encourage the faculty, to the degree that you can bring yourselves to use the microphones just for the purpose of the video, if nothing else. Since I selfishly want to be able to show this to future intro projects. All right, up third, we have Misty Records. Their artist is Loyola's own Gracie Palmer, AKA Gracie Lou, and their co-managers are Allie Dennis and Rebecca Wenzel.
Tell you, I've done everything I can do. The decisions that you've come to make me say, I'm finally done.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Wenzel, co-manager of Misty Records. We strive to work with inspired artists who push the envelope of modern day music. Please meet our musically diverse team. We are starting this company. We imagine collaborating artists from different genre backgrounds to create new hybrid music. Making this happen was a little easier said than done. To elaborate, I am passing it over to our legal hand.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nikki Gaddis. I'm the legal for Misty Records. And let's say you have a vision. A vision not only to bring something new to the music scene, but to pair two artists together who have different music sounds, one being jazz, the other one experimental. You pair them together, they end up breaking the contract, unfortunately, by not only failing to meet deadlines, but also failing to communicate efficiently with each other and the team. Well, they're giving multiple opportunities to make up for things such as coming up with song ideas, even if it's just instrumental or lyrics, and also failing to come up with a name. Well, unfortunately, things don't go so well and not as planned, and you have to drop your artist. This was the case for Misty Records, but one of our strengths as a team is how we were able to bounce back from this and quickly find a new artist, even though we were already 8 weeks in. So now I'm gonna pass it over to our marketer, Sean, to explain the next steps that we took.
Hi, I'm Sean. I did our marketing work. So after we had dropped our first artist, we sort of went back to our drawing board and looked at the people we looked at originally, and Gracie Lou was on that list. Gracie Lou's a good friend of mine. Gracie Lou and I have worked together in the past, and we approached her, we told her the situation, we told her that we had dropped our artist, and she was extremely willing to work with us, and we are extremely grateful for her jumping on board 8 weeks into this project and just very much working with us. Gracie's style, she's a pop singer-songwriter. She takes influence from such singers as Adele, Joni Mitchell, who else do we have on there? Carole King. She appeals to a wide audience. She has a lot of themes of empowerment within her music, and it really does connect with a strong female-based audience, but a very wide audience. And so I'm going to pass it on to Allie Dennis.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm co-manager also. So social media is imperative in the grassroots stages of any artist, beginning artist. Gracie's Twitter has 24 followers and 468 impressions. To improve, we would link this up to the Facebook and website pages to make a more constant media presence. This is the homepage of our website. In the long run, Gracie would really benefit from this, meaning we would reach our objective. We currently have 30 people on the mail list, and after 6 weeks, and intend to continue building these numbers after each gig in exchange for a Gracie Lou sticker. In addition, her Instagram page is a success with 884 followers, and the YouTube page's video collectively has 300 views after 3 weeks. Finally, our biggest success is the Gracie Lou Music Facebook page with 128 page likes and 130 followers. We pride ourselves on the fact that our followers extend beyond the USA. Here are some of the positive statistics from the Facebook page. In the top right corner is a roundup of the stats from the previous week. As you can see, all have increased, and they are organic, which is a great start. On the top left are some of the stats from our post. The yellow represents the number of people reached, the blue represents the post clicks, and the red, the reactions. These highlighted boxes are the posts which had the most impressive statistics on them. The videos reached the highest amount, with the music video on 1.7K views and the cover of an Adele song on 2.2K views. We discovered that the target audience are mainly female and 18 to 24 years old. I'm now going to pass you over to our A&R, Andrew.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Andrew. I did A&R. So we coordinated with the TA, Caitlin Siobhan, to get 5 hours in the small Loyola recording studio. In that 5 hours, we successfully recorded and mixed our song for our artist. Some difficulties we faced while in there was that we were initially not very organized, but thankfully our TA was very professional and pulled us through. The great thing about Misty Records is that we're a very diverse group of people. So Gracie had the benefit of receiving creative input from all of us, which she was very receptive to. And I'm gonna pass it on to Matt, our creative.
Hey y'all, I'm Matthew. I was in charge of the creative responsibilities of this project. Yes. So when we first met Gracie, we were immediately struck by her really warm, kind of girl next door personality and kind of vibe that she gives off. And so through the video that we shot, I really wanted to try to communicate that to any viewers. So the video starts off with this minute and a half single shot of Gracie, and it's just Gracie singing directly to the viewer. It's just the viewer and just Gracie, and all of Gracie's pictures follow kind of a similar idea. So we took these ideas from artists like Joni Mitchell, Alicia Cara, and Amy Winehouse, of this really relatable, personable, warm, down-to-earth kind of person, and tried to market Gracie as that. And I think that we portrayed Gracie as just that. I think we did a good job with that.
I am going to go back and we're going to talk about the live performances. We had 2 live performances, one at Euphorbia Kava Bar and then the other at the Willow. At the Willow, we collaborated with 2 other groups. A large amount of our time was spent marketing for the show, which wasn't extremely successful because we had about 54 in attendance. Next, I'll pass it to our creative, which we already just did. And we'll move on to finance. Attached are the expenses. It's obvious that we were fairly unexperienced with money, making a total of negative $79. If we were going to go about this again differently, here is how we would change the expenses. Spending less in the earlier stages would be the key to later financial success.
So the future for Gracie Lou and Misty Records looks promising. Here is a chart of the places our names have reached after 6 weeks. The majority in the USA, followed by a healthy UK following, and then the smallest numbers scattered randomly in other parts of the world. Next is a chart of what we're aspiring to have. We'd like to aim to have global recognition in the next 10 to 15 years. We have high optimism and a good work ethic.
All right, our future vision. We have set up a 1-year plan for Gracie and a 5-year plan for Misty Records. Our goal for Gracie is that she becomes a songwriter, and why she works on being able to continue her growth of her local fan base, confidence, and image.
Misty Records' future will develop in parallel with Gracie's. We decided 1 year was a bit optimistic for Misty Records, so we decided on 5 years. In 5 years, we would like to sign more artists to the label, create a partnership with a major label in order to profit from publishing and promotion deals, and hence be regionally recognized. Gracie Lou's latest single, Your War, is now available for purchase on the following platforms, as well as Amazon and Google Play.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact us. Thank you.
A quick question on your overall budget that I saw. You had something about stickers, and then you had Disco Kid and a few other things, but you would spend 31% of your overall budget on Snapchat. Can somebody explain that to me? Why you would do that?
So one of our initial marketing ideas was to get a Snapchat filter for the day of the show, and it fell apart time-wise. If we could go back, that would have been a major push for us marketing-wise, was to get people into our show, just sort of spread awareness, because we just didn't feel satisfied with the crowd that we drew in for the amount of work. So we feel going back and having that would have greatly helped us.
You think having a Snapchat filter is going to?
We just needed another way to raise awareness, we thought, because we just didn't think the ways we were going about it, like posting our posters and handing out our flyers.
Since our target audience is from the ages of 18 to 24, that's the majority of Snapchat users nowadays. So that's an easy way of getting people aware of the show.
All right. Yeah, you can jump in.
Yeah, it might be easy, but very ineffective. I mean, the issue is that you need to be able to connect with people in a meaningful way. When you say 18 to 24, I'm going to tell you that I bet I could find a lot of 18 to 24-year-olds who don't give a darn about Gracie Lou. I could tell you that if you found me 18 to 24-year-olds who were or really anybody who is into Joni Mitchell, they might be interested in Gracie's music.
Yeah.
So psychographic targeting is much more important to me. And I know you guys are being cute with the global territory map, but you don't ever market to everybody. You market to a sliver of the population, your sliver of the population. And I think that I had a hard time understanding the overlap between Amy Winehouse and Joni Mitchell in terms of the imaging thing. I don't see them as terribly closely related, except they're both female and in music, I suppose. But I think that, it just didn't seem like there was enough energy devoted to connecting people. Again, I'm seeing a lot from all three groups so far, a lot of creating awareness and a lot of monetization, asking for email or money or something. But I'm not seeing a lot of evidence of building connection, creating an emotional connection between the artist and the fan. And that is what I really need to see evidenced everywhere for me to understand what's really working. If Gracie did 10 shows during the campaign, I'd be all about it, because there's really no better way to build a connection, right? It can all happen in a very tiny space of time.
I just want to jump in. Things that I loved that when I pulled up the website, this announcement of Your War being available, that was great. That was great for me to see. It was incentivizing just visually for me to be like, okay, I want to hear more about the next step. On the website as well, the fact that you have a tab for this month's shows, that sends a narrative message that this month is what's happening, and guess what? That means that next month, it sends this message of like, we can't fit all these shows in if we try to list the full year, so stay tuned. Things that I really wish wouldn't have happened. I'm thinking through if you guys are pitching your success story as a business to me as an artist, I don't care how hellish it was before, you hit my door, I don't ever want to hear the gross stories of before. And that was a stylistic choice, and I think that when you go into a job interview and when you pitch your business or whatever you're selling to someone, it will never ever sound good. It will never paint you guys in the we muscled through it and we made it better way. And it's not your fault, but that's just the message it sends, is like, they still couldn't do it, unfortunately. The last thing, I'm really into voicing narrative and storytelling, even in those tiny moments like on Facebook. So whether your artist is the driving source of the content there or you guys are, I think creating a more palpable story, just the sentential format on the Facebook was just like, blah, like just kind of threw it on the table and left it there. So creating that narrative and that voice for Gracie, I think would be something that I would focus on moving forward for her.
I think your website's much improved than it was when I looked at it a few weeks ago, so great job on that. I really like that banner that you've got promoting the song. I still feel like I don't really know exactly who she is, and I think that's an issue with the content on the website and also with the pictures. I just don't really get it. I'm not sure you've quite figured out her brand yet or what you're trying to say about her. I like that you're looking at your social media stats, but I want to know what you're doing with that. Yes. You've identified that women are your primary audience. How are you going to use that information to promote her, to make sure that people are actually listening to her? But overall, I thought it was a good presentation, so nice job.
I have a bit of a problem with the website in the sense that all the headers were the same. There's no connection. The photographs did offer an opportunity for commentary, and you could add those things in there. I thought the site was fairly simplistic, but I think it's a good start. As far as distribution platforms go, there's a website out there called songhack.com, and the guy did an analysis of all the platforms. And depending on what you're trying to accomplish, like a lot of performances or a few per year or whatever, there's a rubric you can determine which is going to be best for you. So check out that website. I thought you were great on the analytics. I thought that was really good. I wonder about the 8 weeks for the artist change. Did you have an agreement with that artist before you had the problems with the artist?
Yeah, we had a contract with the first artist, and then basically when everything went down, we all sat in a room together and we gave them an ultimatum, as in, you either work together, this is your option, you either work together, or we have to drop both of you, we're not going to pick one or the other. So they ultimately came up with the decision they couldn't work together. So we sent them a formal message each saying, because of this and this in the contract, we've had to drop you because you've broken this clause and this clause. And then within hours, we met up with Gracie and talked to her.
Well, you certainly got a good artist, because, I mean, she can sing, and I thought the narrative was very strong. So overall, I thought it was a very good effort. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. And thank you, Allie, for using the microphone when responding to questions. Please use the microphone when replying to what they have to say. Next up, we have Free Flow Records. Their manager is Kyle Payne, and their artist is another Loyola student, Jordan Cox.
Good evening, everybody. As Lo said, I am Kyle Payne, and I just want to welcome everybody here tonight. Also with us tonight, we have our A&R specialist, Mr. David Byers, our marketing guru, Kat Stokes, our creative lead, Nick Wheeler, and the heads of our legal department, Ian Ellison and Jenna Hunts. Just a little information about us as Free Flow Records. We are a New Orleans-based company which excels at producing the soulful and familial styling of its native community and eclectic culture for a global audience, working with up-and-coming musicians who embody what it means to be innovative and trend-setting artists. And with that, we also had the pleasure of working with, as Lo said as well, Loyola artist, up-and-coming Jordan, also known as Jordan Cox. So we've helped her evolve sonically with her music. We've expanded her social media and her local presence, and we have also created a brand for her, which we hope will become synonymous with her name in the future. To give you a little more information about her music, we're going to head over to our A&R specialist, David Byers.
Hi guys, how's it going? Thank you, Kyle. So, starting off, the first thing that we were looking for when we were looking for an artist was someone who just jumped off the page. You know, half the battle of finding an artist is finding someone that people are interested in. So we looked for an artist that popped and an artist that had eclectic style and a look already to where we could take that and maximize it and put it on a bigger platform. So looking at Jordan, she already had such a great style and she already had such a great sense of who she was and this, that, and the other, that was a prime option for us picking her. And then on top of that, she's extremely talented and her music was great. So it was hand in hand, it went great together, 50-50 image and talent. So some of her influence are Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill, which in her music, she has kind of crafted a sound that's hip-hop and R&B, neo-soul, mixed with a little bit of her Caribbean vibes because she has Caribbean background. She's from Brooklyn, New York. She's a student here at Loyola, so she brought some of the New York flavors, some of the Caribbean vibes from her family, and then she fused it with a little bit of like the soul of New Orleans. And just talking about how we can enhance her brand, I'm going to pass off to Kat.
So like David said, we loved the look of Jordan, and we thought that her look could also, not just with her music, we could also sell her look. There are other celebrities that we've seen, Rihanna, Missy Elliott, Pharrell, who are definitely fashion icons, and with their music, their fashion has grown their music as well. So with her look, it was colorful. She's had like 4 different hairstyles since we've seen her, and with her lyrics, she has incredible lyrics. Right up here it says, "When they gonna learn that niggas gotta feed off the ancestry." She's powerful, she's bold, and just looking at her, she's personable, and we all fell in love with her. So here's some of the merch that we thought about. We not only talked with her about what she would like, we thought about who the audience would be, and we decided the audience would be young adults, teens, people who listen to neo-soul, R&B, hip-hop. And one of the biggest trends kind of in this is like the dad hat. I see several baseball caps out in the audience today. And we thought, not only with her name on it, we thought since it's such a staple accessory among the youth, we thought that could sell well. The hoodie with her face on it, who doesn't own a hoodie? We thought that it would be great for that. In the music video that you'll see, she wears a flower crown, and another artist, Ariana Grande, has cat ears that are a staple for her, and her fans wear cat ears to her concerts to show admiration. So we thought the flower crown could work, and then a sticker to promote her single that we helped her release. So for her social media, she already had a very strong, well, not very strong, but a stronger social media presence than most people at this age. She had 1,000 followers on Instagram when we met her. And Twitter we didn't really focus on Twitter. We did link her website. The biggest thing that we helped her with was her website. As you can see, we have a news page that updates you on her latest events, whether it was shows, releasing music, music video. We had a page where you can contact her. We have a tab where you can see images of behind the scenes footage. It links to her Instagram. We also have a tab where it shows her music, where you can listen to it directly on our show. Not our show, our website. And so now with the brand, Nick's gonna help talk about how we use the music video to help display who she is.
All right, so the video we have here is not actually the music video. This is about, I think, 4 different scenes selected throughout the video, all mashed together to give you a better feel of what we were going for. So I'll let you take a look.
I know I fucked up. Bitch riding downtown got me feeling real. And a nigga can't trust no niggas. That's a my pimp game strong and my pimp hand stronger. Got me feeling drunk, maybe act on marijuana. Tell me what you wanna. Tell me what you wanna. Tell me what you wanna. So tell me what you like. If I slide through the crib late night. If I do that thing that I know you really like. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you like. Said tell me what you like. If I slide through the crib midnight. If I do that thing that I know you really like. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you like. Okay, yeah. I did for my body. So you pull me in slow and shoot your shotty. Better shuffle right and play your cards properly so you can be my ace.
All right, so for this video, we really just listened to the song, sat down, listened to the song, and came up, all we could keep thinking was, it's got happy vibes. This song just makes us happy, it feels happy, so we need to portray, a happy song with the video. So what we did was we just put together a simple shoot with different aesthetics, but a theme that transcends every scene. As you can see, so we've had a few challenges with this. We couldn't afford a professional photographer, so photography could be better, admittedly. But what you get from Jordan here is that even though she had maybe a somewhat adverse situation, she still gave off the vibes of what she was trying to portray in the song, and she did it perfectly in the video. So for the future, if she has a better crew with her, it might be a better outcome. So as for the live touring section, Jordan, before we got to her, she had a little bit of experience doing live shows, performing, but not much, very minimal. So we were fortunate enough to have the chance to put together a live show for her here at the Willow. It was successful enough. It was very grassroots, but the people that were there were rocking with us, as you can see in this video.
That's true, It's the true shit.
So as you can see here, the people that were there were having a great time. Fans loved her. She's very marketable, especially on stage. So we went ahead and put together a 2-month, 2-leg tour with her and accompanying artist Sam Weisganja. This tour is called Save the Union Tour. First leg is every 2 days, starting on the 20th. You can see every second day there's another stop. This goes till we reach Brooklyn, which is where she's from. And then leg 2 starts the next January 2nd, because, New Year's Eve. And then starts in Seattle, goes all the way to Phoenix, so we do the western seaboard of the United States, hit the major cities, and then end with a big show in Phoenix. And we think she's perfect for this tour. So yeah, I'm gonna hand this off to Kyle, explain some more.
Thank you, Nick. So as we've seen and heard, Jordan already has the makings of being what we at Free Flow Records think is an amazing and upcoming star. And we just really wanted to build on that at Free Flow Records this year. So with the proposed $250,000, we could obviously do a lot more, and we think with time and these resources, we could do even better for her and for her. So as Nick was talking about, we really want to give her a good tour. We want to give her two. We want to give her one on the first, going on the eastern seaboard, and then start on the west. And with the first, we would use the production, about $60,000 for album production. We'd promote a full album, and then for the second tour, we would do smaller EPs that we would release before and during to kind of have like a interactive with the audience. They're learning new songs, and they're also getting to know the old ones, but kind of having to see what they like and what they don't, so we can kind of build her up as we're going on tour, seeing where we want to go with her. And then as well, the other big thing that we want to focus on is advertisements, mainly physical. We want to do, we want to have the postcards and everything that we send to their houses with the tours, tour dates on it. We want to have the posters and along the subway stations and the train stations in New York and then the cities leading up to the finale and everything. And then we also want to do online email list and everything, which we have a pretty good one at the Willow. We got about 40 different emails, and we also had about 60 more that we got from family and friends by posting on Facebook and Twitter. So we think we have a pretty good start where we want to go with Jordan. So just going forward, we want to work on involving her Twitter and her social media a little bit more, getting her on tour. We want to work on getting her a brand that we can possibly go forward working with companies like Kat was saying, Adidas. And then we also want to get her YouTube numbers up, her streaming numbers up, so that we can get her on the charts. And if we get her up on the charts, then we can also get her hopefully a larger tour with Live Nation. And from there, who knows where we'll go, but hopefully it's only up. So we thank you for everything. Thank you for being here tonight. And if you have any questions, we're here.
Okay. There's a lot I want to say, but I'm not going to say everything. But first and foremost, you showed me pictures of Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu. And then the very next picture was of her. And I understand you have this thing about her that she has that color, that vibrantness, that look about her, but her pictures don't express that the way I think you think they do. You have these two great examples of what direction she should be going in terms of image, and then you show me her pictures, and it's like, well, I didn't see it just didn't, it was like her face covered with dots and stuff like that. I mean, that's cool, but, what does that show? But I like her as an artist. I think the clothing and that was awesome. That level of what you guys were doing, and as far as I'm concerned, was great. Just as far as her image is concerned, and in terms of the image that you portray of her, that needs a lot of work. And the video, I have no idea what I was looking at. I mean, it was out of focus. The lip syncing was bad. It was just not a good video. I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna kind of stop there.
Well, again, I think what UP is talking about is that is what he's putting his finger on is the idea that, as I said earlier, everything communicates, right? So what are you saying with that video? What are you saying with the merch? What are you saying with the promo photos? We talk about brand when it comes to artists, but there's a synonym for brand that I'd really prefer you never to use the word brand. I really think that what brand is all about is trust. We need to be able to trust this artist is going to deliver, or that we can trust that our perception of what the artist is what we will receive. And you guys, if I had to pick one really significant issue is that I didn't have a sense of brand in that regard. I didn't understand that that I could trust this product, that I could trust this artist, because while you described great things, and I think what you were describing was admirable and good and on target, and again, I totally agree with UP, having Lauryn Hill and Erykah there, like that was That's exactly right. That's your prototype. But you didn't do anything to connect to that prototype. And that's a great place to start. I also have quibble with some other little things. Like a tour that runs every other day is just that's a complete waste and really silly. You guys probably don't know, but it's sort of your business to know. Look at Polestar. Look how people tour. It's every day with a day off, or every day with 2 days off. You know, every day for 4 or 5 with 2 days off, maybe. But there's a reason that artists tour that way. They tour that way because they have to. A day off on the road is a wasted day in every way, unless it's a planned day off for rest and recuperation, or to cover more than 500 miles between cities. That's all there is to it. Physical ads for $50,000 is an issue. This is an artist that I don't see you're going to get that money back ever. Is a physical ad going to make you 50 grand back or get you $50,000 in value? An artist at this level, you guys have to be pragmatic. You got a baby artist that you need to develop, and dropping $50K on physical ads just isn't going to do it. So if it's a made-up number, that worries me. If it's not a made-up number, that worries me even more. And again, a $100,000 tour for like a fistful of dates, that's not really cool either. Pennsylvania, the abbreviation of Pennsylvania is PA, not PN. You gotta know that you can make back your investment. That's really it. You have no right to spend marketing money that you can't justify a return on that investment. Okay, that's a message for everybody. So, thank you.
I think the message in the budget is when you have your projections of what money you're going to spend, is how much money, how you're going to make that money back. So there's no plan. I don't see any plan for how that happens. So obviously you're going to have that. I think that our website is pretty simple and could be fixed. I didn't see the merch on the site. I thought the merch page on your presentation was good, but I didn't see any merch on her site. Did you make any money with her?
We made 25 off of the show at the Willow.
Okay. I agree with the comments in the video. That was the first thing I saw, and I thought, what is this? So I think that needs some serious work. But, you know, you've got a possible success here with her. I mean, she could do well, I think, but I do think you need to clarify her image, her brand, if for lack of a better word. But the website might help if you could communicate more directly, and maybe even she could personalize it somehow with blogging or something to make it more lively. Anyway, I thought that you have a good start. But thanks very much for your help. Anybody else?
Just make sure, again, that storytelling piece. First of all, just the visuals. When I pull up the website on my computer, it is not as crisp with the content. Just literally with that font color, it just doesn't, it's hard to read for old people. And then photo-wise, again, tell me a story. I want to be like hand out of the computer, smack, this is a brand. Because that was the first thing I heard one of you say was, we picked her for her image, we picked her for how she looked, we picked her for how colorful her hair is, and that's a brand, that's an image. And so I want to hear and see all of that in cohesion with one another. It seemed like haphazard pictures are just like these, they're candid photos, but they're not great candid photos.
Instagram photos. That's just not selective enough.
It's not curatorial at all.
You gotta be curated.
Yeah, you have to curate more.
Yeah, I don't have much to add beyond what everyone else said. What I did like about your website was I thought her bio was really strong, and I see more of who she is now that I've heard some of her music, and I think John's idea was exactly right to bring her into that somehow. We've seen some of these projects before where the students really got in and did little video pieces about themselves. She seems like a perfect person to do that, so just try and bring out more of her, and I think you'll be in a better place.
Yeah, you guys have a winner there. I mean, you got a potential winner there. She could be great. You really need to be disciplined. You gotta have a system and some parameters for this thing.
And when it comes to if you want to use a quote from one of her songs, I don't think you chose the best quote. I really don't think that was the greatest quote that you could
Thank you for saying
have chosen. That was kind of sloppy. You know, you could have picked better than that.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. we are almost running on time. We're very close to on time. So we're going to start in 15 minutes with Adamless. But in the next 15 minutes, go up in the lobby, get a slice of pizza and something to drink, and see you back down here at 7:30.
Good? Yeah. Hello? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we gotta wait anyway.
We have no faculty panel.
So yeah, so we'll present more. Do you want to?
Paging the faculty panel. There.
So yeah, so be more like over here, and because we're facing, they want us to face the audience for the presentation. So we'll just go down the line. Okay. And then you can. What?
Like, after we present everyone, who do I give it to?
Me.
You. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But our number one goal. Yeah, that's what I was doing. It's only gonna be 10 minutes-ish. Literally like screenshot and copy and pasted that from her website.
I know.
So that's why her like feet are still in it. Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
I was like, they wanted to follow the notes. Yeah, so right when it goes to Adamless Records, like, our name. Can you hold that for a second? I'm sorry. I just didn't want to like set that. I was just gonna say the story behind her name. Because originally we were paired with a boy named Adam.
In our group.
In our group, and he never showed up for our first couple meetings, so we were Adamless. And we're all women. Adam and Eve. Adamless. I think we're the only Yeah, we are.
Okay. All right.
And all right. What's that? We're going to start without EP. Yeah. All right. Starting the second half, we have Adamless Records. Their artist is here tonight, Randy Izell. Nice to see you. Always nice to see project artists. And their manager is Jana Sanders. Take it away, Jana.
Thank you. So, like Lo said, we are Adamless, and our artist is Randy Rue. So a little bit behind our name. Originally in our group, we were paired with a guy named Adam. However, he never showed up for the first few meetings, and thus we were Adamless. Also, you will notice we are the only all-female group. So Adam and Eve, Adamless, haha. Like we said, I'm Jana Sanders. I'm the manager. I'm Alyssa Duran. I'm the legal member.
I'm Lydia Netterville. I'm in charge of marketing.
I'm Hannah Wadby. I'm creative.
Hey, I'm Brigitte, A&R.
So above we have our mission statement of Adamless, but really our number one goal and what we strive to do is create, passion, diligence, and originality into everything that our artists create. So you're probably wondering, who is Randy? Well, more importantly, who is Randy Rue? Randy Rue is a new innovative artist that focuses on the fusion of genres. From her range to her runs to her tone, her talent doesn't cease. She creates unique music that doesn't just sound beautiful, but it makes you feel connected to something bigger than yourself. Randy is a singer, songwriter, rapper, born and raised in New Orleans. Her music is inspired by reggae, punk, pop, and soul. Her inspiration draws from many different genres, and you can tell throughout her music that it is very unique.
So I first met Randy through class. She was always very happy and bubbly and very friendly. And when I heard that Randy was interested in the intro projects, I knew that she would be a great artist to have. So after a brief meeting with Randy, Adamless sat down and watched a few of her videos, and we saw that she was just overall an absolute great performer. She has a great stage presence, and there's just something about her that captivates you that's undescribable, and it just gives you this feeling in the pit of your stomach that just makes you want to share it with everybody else.
So after working with Randy for the past, few months, we found her to be capable, creative, and compassionate. Her capability lies in her ability to fuse genres, which makes her more than able to have the opportunity for collaborations in the future, which will further expand the diversity of her fan base. Her creativity lies in her appearance. Her outfit is decorated with, as you can see, New Orleans themes, keeping that Louisiana roots close. Her skull makeup represents her disdain for the negativity in society, whereas the jeweled side of her makeup is the beauty that she wants to put in to counter that pessimism. Randy's compassion has been shown through her ability to build relationships not only with her team outside of our musical endeavors, but with her fan base. The goal of her music really is to put meaningful ideas into the world and thus connect with her fans and the people that she works with.
So when we asked Randy what her greatest accomplishment was working with Adamless, she said that it was the creation of an image and a persona to build on. So we really tried to open her up to the beginning of a career and find a path for her to at least start on. As one of her first accomplishments, next up is a clip from the music video for her single 20 Seconds.
If I found that you were the one who could make the sunshine, let my soul come back to life. I wouldn't drop the weight of the world that I have carried since the day I was born. No. Now you can try to shake me, but only an end, my end, could save me. I have long awaited this day. Just look in my eyes, let them have the final say.
Next, we have a clip from her live show. As you can see, she has an electric stage presence, and this translates beautifully when working with her creatively, and I see working further with music videos will be very easy for anyone who works with her. Next, we have our website.
So our biggest marketing successes were that we established a website and a social media presence for Randy, whereas she did not have either before. We marketed and branded her successfully using a certain style through imagery and the half skull makeup idea. We sold merchandise with her logo on it. At the show, we screen printed bandanas. And our most successful social media outreach was through Facebook. So here we have the page summary. Up here, reach at the bottom, around 600, with page likes at 143. There's the breakdown of engagement by post type. As of today, I think we have 139 likes on the page, and then we have our post reach at the bottom. It reached a little over 200 people there, and then the total, including tags, shares, and all of that, is a little over 600.
Facebook also allowed us to connect with her audience, and it shows the gender, location, and age range of our audience. We have a wide variety of locations, which translates to her eclectic mix of music, and we also have one person in the Netherlands.
And so now we're going to talk about this single, which I think is very successful. We made a, almost professional sound recording working in the studio, and the video was also very successful. As you can see, 313 views, followers on Spotify and SoundCloud. And so our biggest successes, we think, were the gig, which brought lots of new followers on social media. We have 138 Facebook followers and also 50 people on the email list. And so we send them discounts for shows and for merch and also newsletters. And now Alyssa's going to talk about BMI and Sound Exchange.
So as an artist, Randy is registered with the PRO BMI. Her single 20 Seconds is available on Google Play, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, via distribution through CD Baby. As of right now, Randy is currently in the process of getting all of her original music copyrighted, and I have no worries about Randy legally in the future because we're making sure she is protected. As far as finances go, we had a budget of $120. Our total expenses were $113.19, which we spent towards merchandise, the domain name, and the video editing. Our total income was $22.75, which left us at a net profit of negative $90.44.
So next we're going to talk a little bit about Randy's many strengths in addition to some problems and challenges. We feel that one of her greatest strengths is her fusing of genres, which will give her that ability to collaborate with other artists in the future and then expand the diversity of that fan base even more so than our one friend in the Netherlands. However, we still see some challenges up ahead. A future weakness that we do could foresee coming is finding that specific niche market just because she is so diverse. And connect with so many different genres. In addition, we do think that an obstacle could be having little success on the Billboard charts just because of that firm reggae genre that you don't always hear on the pop radio. Also, we do see her having more success with touring. So with that, there's a potential threat that she could have a higher risk of getting sick due to the act of performing. Here's Hannah to tell us about our more industry problems, possibly.
So the only difficulty that we see really coming up in the future is long-term sustainability on touring, and a way we plan on going against that is next, Jana.
So our plan for Adamless and Randy Rue is to focus specifically on her becoming more of a festival and touring artist, especially after seeing her rise in fans after the gig on the 25th. The key step for doing that is to reach sustainability through expanding her fan base. And so we intend to do that through local gigs and then merge that to do larger touring around Louisiana and eventually more of the northern, eastern United States, considering there is a bigger market for reggae and punk there. Our strategies for doing this is first to utilize the Loyola market that we have here. Like I said, do local gigs, make more connections, do local festivals, and then from there, do collaborations in order to increase that fan base and then get a more stable income to do the touring. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you to Randy for all her hard work and giving us the pleasure of turning art and business into one. If you guys have an interest in joining the crew of Rue, we have our social media up there, and we have our email list with us if you would like to sign up. Thank you.
You know, I thought that was the best website that I've seen of the bunch. Excellent website, a different image on every page, and I thought the consistency from the site all through the different deliverables was excellent. The song was great. I think that it has some New Orleans in it and it has some reggae in it, and it's just the video was really well done too. I mean, it told the story and the alternating between the color and the black and white and reversing the story. It was really quite effective, I thought. One person made the statement, getting the music copyrighted. Copyright attaches upon the moment of fixation. You're talking about registration of copyrights. So just make sure you understand the difference. The masking thing, I thought was just so effective, kind of Phantom of the Opera-like, and so it's kind of proven success, but the way she did it was so effective. So you have an excellent artist, I have to say, and I thought you did well on your analysis of the future challenges as well. So I would say congratulations all around. Anybody else?
I like it. You know, I gotta say I like Randy. I like the music video. I like the website. We were just sitting here looking at some of the pictures on the website. That was really well done. The only thing I wanted to kind of help you with was you made the comment about reggae and pop and all of that. I don't know if you've noticed, but probably 70 to 80% of pop records have a reggae undertone. So don't ever discount the popularity of reggae and its influence on other cultures, as it were. So just know that.
I think with an artist that is as compelling and unusual as this, you always want to show, not tell. So step aside as much as possible to let the artist do the talking. I think that there were intriguing elements that I wanted to know more. I wanted to hear more, see more, and some of that AV kind of content wasn't as satisfying as I would expect it to be, because she's got a lot to offer. Quickly on Facebook stuff, I noticed you were kind of hinting at the idea of psychographic information through Facebook. I'd like to know who else people who like her like, you know, and you should make it your business to know that, so that you can effectively target and understand her prototype. You know, what is she really? I was going to say the same thing as John. You're not copywriting stuff. You're registering copyrights. John and I looked at each other at one point when you discussed your negative profitability. Right? That is the negation of profit. There is no profit, and profit is a very elastic term, and it's something that you guys need to know must exist at some point. It doesn't have to begin. It doesn't have to be there from the beginning. Profit is the amount over what it costs you to do what you do that makes it worthwhile. For a tiny little while, it might be worthwhile to lose money. Being ramen profitable in the early years is cool. You can make enough to buy ramen, then you're okay. But that wears off really fast, and profitability is an important concept to understand. I wanted to know who you saw as points of reference for her. You know, like who could she be the next blank? You know, I think that at the same time as I wouldn't mind you understanding that there's a there in terms of long-term prospects, I also think you should uncouple your expectations from anything having to do with a Billboard chart. Just stop thinking about Billboard charts. Start thinking about connecting with fans. Attracting and retaining fans is everything you need to do. You learned gigs are magic, right? She played one show and everything happened. Not a lot else happened that you could demonstrate traction, except for the show. What's the lesson in that? She should be doing shows nonstop. And the more she does, the better. So it's just the beginning in terms of that. Okay? Anyway, nice job. I think I agree. I think you have a winning artist. Oh, and I don't love the website. I don't like that. I don't like the websites I've seen tonight in that they're not all. I haven't seen responsive sites. I haven't seen sites that look awesome on cell phones. I haven't seen sites that are bulletproof. And you're sort of, everybody's a little behind the times on that front. I think these sites need to be a lot more user-friendly.
But I thought that you posted comments by other people, and that's the first time I saw that today, that you had other people's quotes. I think you could make it more personal, but still I thought it was a good effort. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just thought your visuals looked great, and I wanted to know who did the logo with her face, and that was really awesome. I mean, she looks great, and you really captured that, so well done.
Thank you.
All right. Our next group appears to have stepped out of 1969 and the tie-dye era. Their artist is Joe Diliberto. Their group name is Bywater Records. And their manager, Emily Burgess.
Thank you. Actually, Griffin is going to start off tonight's presentation since he's a close friend of our artist.
Good evening. We're Bywater Records. My name is Griffin, and I'm part of the legal department. And tonight we're going to explain the successes of our business this semester, as well as introduce our artist, Joe Diliberto. So Joe is a guitarist, singer, and songwriter from Birmingham, Alabama. And originally he only played guitar in bands, and so he approached us because he wanted to further his solo career. And so our goal was to help him with that, get him a fan base, and really kick it off. And so to begin, we had to find the perfect anthem for his unique style. And so our artist manager, Emily, is going to explain the goals and challenges musically of Joe Diliberto and Bywater Records.
Hello, my name's Emily, and I was his manager. And to find the perfect song, we spent weeks together riding around in cars, taking photography with our creative department, Addie, here. And we really wanted to make sure that we found the perfect song because he already had a pretty good platform on SoundCloud, having recorded and mixed a lot of his own songs. So we decided on the song Faith because it was definitely the most provoking and unique song of his. And it was also his song that he told me that was his transition from the more singer-songwriter phase into more of the rock, punk, getting more into that indie and psychedelic era. For the studio time, we decided to hire 2 of his previous band members to be featured on bass and drums. And he also, after the recording session, which went rather smoothly, he mixed his own song and released it on SoundCloud. And this is also the album artwork, which he designed himself by choice. And it stays consistent with the theme, with the video, having the plane. That's the symbol of the song because it's about the girl that really wants to leave. So the plane is definitely the symbol, and having all the colors. And the font is definitely his indie rock psychedelic vibe. For a quick business overview, we invested $100 this semester, and we spent $63.96, and we made $3 in tips at the neutral ground. Also, in the future, we plan to receive royalties because we did sign up from a BMI, and we're planning on receiving money from that in the future, as well as making money off master recordings in the future. We don't want to focus on touring initially as much because Joe isn't as comfortable on stage, but he's definitely a talented person in the studio. He was born and bred musician and mixing, so he wants to start off his career doing that as opposed to focusing on touring. And our live show was held at the Neutral Ground. It was held on April 27th, and it started at 8 p.m. We had a lot of close friends of his come by, and they all signed up on our email list, not from incentives, but actually we just had a conversation and we talked face-to-face because all of us it was a very close-knit coffee house environment, and we wanted to keep that grassroots comfortability, friendship, fans. That's what we wanted to keep. And now I'm going to take it away to Addie here, who is our creative department.
Hello, I'm Addie. I worked as the creative member of our team. Behind me is our promo, our marketing for our Neutral Ground show. On the right side, I did that one, and we distribute that around campus, billboards, under people's doors, normal stuff. And then the one on the left is actually designed by Joe. Oh, I'm not doing very good at this. And so with this image, we kind of took him throughout this project from like a John Mayer singer-songwriter to a more like eclectic rock kind of 21 Pilots-y vibe. So we kept that in mind a lot during the photo shoots. And, sorry. So we made he told me whenever we were recording to make it a point to like avoid the walking around town, like around different places. And he chose to edit the video himself. So for all the recording and the photography, I was there, I was with him. But as far as the editing goes, that's all Joe. So yeah, like she said, one of the major symbols throughout the whole album, Echoes and Reflections, is this plane. So we kept that consistent through the video and with the logo for the song. Now I'm gonna pass it to Ryan for the marketing and social media.
How's it going, guys? My name's Ryan. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the marketing component of what we did for Joe and where we started at and how we got here. So at the outset of this whole project, at the beginning of the semester, Joe didn't really have any social media presence, so to speak, of as an artist anyway. He had his SoundCloud page up with like 3 or 4 followers, and that was about it. So the most fundamental thing I did for Joe was build this website, which was, the goal of it was to be a sort of an all-encompassing experience where you can find all the pertinent information you need about Joe in one place. It's got links to his Instagram, his YouTube page, his Facebook. The very front page of the website has players for Faith, his new single, as well as the previous 2 albums he released to SoundCloud that you can play through the website. In addition to that, it's got a small artist bio, upcoming shows page, and 2 subscriber sections. One thing that was already touched on a little bit that we struggled with Joe is his image was kind of changing throughout the course of the semester, so we had to track that and adjust with him. I think one thing we encountered at the beginning with our website was it didn't necessarily match the image that we were trying to portray. And so that took a little bit of fine-tuning. We went back and adjusted some of the color schemes of the website, some of the imagery, and tried to make it more on track with what we want Joe to be portrayed as an artist. Getting to the numbers a little bit, the new Faith music video, which was put on YouTube last week, is already up to 126 views from last Tuesday to today. The most impressive thing that we noticed is that of those 126 views, there's also 61 likes, so it means that the music video is speaking to people, they're responding to it positively, which we enjoy. In addition to that, 58 Instagram followers and 62 SoundCloud subscribers, which is a positive step from where we started the semester. So without further ado, I'm going to transition into Raina.
Hi, my name is Raina. I was also part of the legal team with Griffin. I'm just going to tell you guys about a few of our long-term goals. We hope to keep working with Joe on his upcoming album, Echoes and Reflections. We also want to continue updating the new and creative platforms that we created for him during the course of this project, as well as continue to give him a fan base by expanding his music to other platforms like Apple Music and Spotify. So, yeah, that's the end. We're Bywater Records, yeah.
Let's turn it on here. All right, thank you, Jay. Okay, a term that I've heard bandied about through 3 of the groups tonight, the word punk. I need you to look at the definition of punk music. If you would pitch this to someone and say the word punk, L7 would personally come and rip your arm off and beat you with it. This is not punk. So I would get a complete wrong impression if I was a buyer, a booker, any sort of person that you were selling me this to. If that was an opening act for somebody that was punk, that would be the worst pairing ever. So knowing your artist and knowing what those genres really mean. Also, I love that the artist was so hands-on with the content. Your job is almost to serve as a filter sometimes. And your job is to not only be a business expert, but you have to have an ear for music. He's got some really great undergirdings and content, but in that mix that I heard in the video, there were some musical timing issues that he probably was so deep in that mix and that recording himself that he maybe didn't recognize. So there needs to be this filter point, and that's you guys. Either you hiring an engineer or you hiring someone, or one of you, the team, being super hyper musical to hear that and say like, nah, that take might not be the one we want to use, or this mix down might not blend as well as we need it to. Again, I love that you were a proponent of him driving the content, but that piece of kind of monitoring and filtering and helping him build that brand to make sure it all sounds as high polish as you need it to. I think that was a piece that was missing.
I'd like to pick up where Kate left off, because that very thing is something that concerned me. The fact that the artist is driving the bus here is not exactly healthy, especially when he doesn't know how to write himself the prescription for the medicine he needs. When he's saying, he's not real into being on stage, so he wants to just record a lot. How is he going to magically generate profit and fans? What's he going to do? How is he going to compel anything? The idea that that it's okay to lose money is very short-lived. Without profit, you're hobbyists, and that's okay. To be a hobbyist is fine, but that's not a business, and the music does tend to sort of go away after enough time. It's your job to counteract that tendency and to force the artist to find sustainability in whatever way is available to you. Good impulse for the website, good motive behind the website, but again, I see it as much less than effective. It was just kind of a basic rudimentary site, and not very compelling. Again, not a responsive site. What did I say here? Oh, it's not enough for you to grow your socials numbers, right? The numbers aren't the point. The question is, what do you do with these numbers? It's not enough just to gather emails. What is the plan for the emails? The socials, the emails, all that stuff, they're means to an end, right? What's the plan? What's the strategy behind having this one-to-one contact information? That's really what I want everybody here tonight to think about. Like, what are you building a connection with? What's the story you're trying to tell? I guess that's really it.
I'd like to emphasize, too, that I don't think the artist made some good choices. And also, as far as the website is concerned, it's completely detached graphically from the video. The psychedelic thing that you're wearing got nothing to do with that website. That's the squarest website on the face of the earth. It's not good. And you could improve it by giving him, like his about page, there's not much there about him. It strikes me that he's kind of an interesting guy, and that video with its mixture of images and also just the graphics, I thought, well, this is a cheap way out, but then it started to get good. And there were a couple of memes in there. Either I made them up or they're actually there. It seemed like there was a United airplane that was taking off, and there was also, it looked like a prison scene, the barbed wire and stuff. So I don't know, those things are, it's interesting, and there might be something that portends the future, that you could actually use those more. That could become something that kind of brands him too. The psychedelic approach is a good approach, and it does define the music. Make sure it defines the website and all the graphics too. Anybody else?
Is the psychedelic thing just you guys, and you happen to find a different artist, or?
So basically, what we decided as a group before, like, we even signed an artist, was our label, we wanted to call it Acid Aura, because all of us, we are all connected on this one kind of level of like having that psychedelic creative thing. Like, we didn't want to have like the generic black and white, suits business type. We didn't want that. We wanted to have a very grassroots, indie kind of eccentric, weird psychedelic vibe, and we wanted that from the beginning. And we actually we had like 5 options of artists, and we went through them each day, and we thought that Joe not only fit the best for our label, but that also he was the most flexible and that could work with us, and that we would have that consistent kind of psychedelic, hippie theme, and we wanted that, and he fit the best mold for that initially.
Yeah, I think when you guys are using the term psychedelic and hippie and all of that, I think you need to really check your references on that and not just say it because it kind of sounds familiar or that's what that kind of looks like, but not quite sure. And I think based on his images and the video don't match to me. You know, like what I see him, and then like if I watched the video and became a fan, and then I saw a picture of him standing there holding a guitar by the Crescent City Connection, I'd be like, I'm confused. It doesn't look like psychedelic rock star to me, if that was the image that you were going for. So there just has to be a connection there between all of those things have to match. They all have to make sense. And right now there's kind of a disconnect between the video, the images. The website reminds me of MySpace. And I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. You good?
No, I'm good.
I thought the song and the video were good.
Yeah, the song is
good,
dope.
yeah. I thought the song and the video is okay. I mean, it was doing its job. I was intrigued. I think that you sort of drove me away with everything else, which is sort of the opposite of your job.
Yeah, the song was great.
I'll just have one quick thing for you guys and for all the rest of the groups still to present. When one of you is talking, the rest of you should look at that person. You know, it makes the person who's talking feel like you're all on their side, supporting them. Don't just look down at the floor or kind of, glance around, but look at the person who's talking. So you guys should do that. Let's hear it for Acid Aura one more time. There we go. All right. Next up, we have Dazed Records. And their artist is an intro student who's already presented here today, David Byers, and their manager, Brian Wolitz.
Thank you so much. Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Brian Wolitz. I'm the manager for Dazed Records. Thank you for the faculty for being here, and thank you guys for coming. So just a little quick thing about us. Our goal at Dazed Records is to foster the growth of artists, giving them a creative platform that cultivates creative collaboration in the ever-evolving industry. So just... Yeah, so here at Dazed, we have Ann Carey Swoop taking on our legal affairs. We have Julian Josiah on our marketing side. And then we have our A&R team of Laura Prado and Liam Fitzpatrick. And then Nick Callady was taking care of our creative part of the project. So just a show of hands, who listens to Kendrick Lamar or Frank Ocean? See, pretty much everyone in the room. So when I think about Dave's State of Mind, that's the type of artist that comes to mind right away, and I think that he is, so versatile in his different in his singing, in his lyricism, in his delivery. He just invokes powerful emotion in the way that he has in all of his music. So some of the things that Dave said about him is it's for the kids, for the lovers, for the dreamers, for the hip hop purists, for the conscious man, and most of all, for the soul. And when he says for the soul, you can hear it inflected in his voice every time that he delivers those words, those lyrics, and just his image and the way that he can move an audience and really have that connection with them. And it wouldn't have been possible to find out about Dave without the help of Liam, who's going to talk a little bit about how we found him and then how we went into producing his song and everything like that. So here's Liam to talk about that.
Hi guys, I'm Liam. I'm one half of the A&R team here at Dazed Records. I had met David one of the first couple of days of school, and I had known right from the beginning that I had wanted to work with him, but our schedules never really aligned, and we never really got time to do so until this project had come about. And pretty much since the beginning, I had been pushing for David to be our artist, and it only took about 5 minutes for our team to agree after they had heard some of his work, and they had heard the sincerity in his voice and just how good of an artist he truly is. So Laura and I knew that we wanted a hands-on approach throughout this process. We knew we didn't want to just sit on the sidelines and hope for a good song in the end. So I had sent David some beats occasionally, just very quick snippets here and there, And he had come back to us with one of those beats I had sent, and that would actually eventually become the single that we had released called Carefree. We had booked a 4-hour studio session here at school, and we were able to mix that entire song in that session. It was really efficient, and Laura here will tell you more about that studio session.
So, hi guys. So as the other half of the A&R team, my mission was, or I consider it to be a liaison in between the engineer and the artist, Dave. One of the things that we were able to work on the most was the post-production part, or that I was able to, for example, adding different harmonies, the retakes of certain tracks, and just additional aspects such as effects and beyond that, just to work on him and on his music and make the most cohesive piece that we would be able to, and pretty much to have him be content and be always happy with what he was getting, and also pitching in our opinions as well. So all these steps that we took in the studio and all these choices that we made were all able to come in together as his product, as his creative product that he was happy with, that we were happy with, and that we're proud to present here today. So one of the things that also happened during the studio session is that as we were recording, we started creating or envisioning different parts for his music video, and so we kind of started brainstorming a few ideas about what could happen or not on it. So I will let Nick talk about that to you guys.
Thank you. So as she said, the video process started when we were in the studio. The song called Carefree kind of brought everything down together for the video, the ideas, the concepts, the look of the video. We wanted it to be like a warm, fun video that people could watch and just have a good time listening to it. And so now here's a minute-long clip from the video around the middle of it.
Living life with no limits, like it's no blueprint. I got $1 million vision, making change off my 2 cents. We on the way now, pedal to the metal in my own lane. Blowing up like I'm propane. Kept it 100, man, I'm still the same. I stay real, stay true, man, I never change. To the ones that doubt it, let's just talk about it. I know this is making y'all real shit. Can't debate it, this is beauty, greatness. Even paraplegics gon' feel this. Man, I know they like it, kill this. Man, I came up on y'all real quick. Man, you know I speak it right from the heart, because you know that is real shit. Lately I've been thinking too much. Maybe I've been thinking.
The process of making this video was very flawless. We had very little errors. Me, Brian, and Dave all got in the car together on a Thursday afternoon, and we were able to go to the sites that we had envisioned. Dave had a few ideas already that he knew he wanted to go to, and we were able to get the shots that we wanted, and I edited it within the next day, and it came out the way that we had envisioned. And then the video can be found on our website, which was designed by our own Julian.
Thank you. So before our group worked with David, he already has social media with Instagram and Twitter. Already started working on that. He has his personal stuff as well as his music. But one thing he did not have yet was a website, which is what I worked on here. So here you can see the first page, and that's when you first scroll down, you can see his newly released song, Carefree. And then we have a little bit of bio, as well as the quote that Brian stated before. One more time. And then you keep going, you see his new release video that we made that Nick and the rest of them worked on, as well as a calendar which shows his live shows that are going to be in that month that we have worked with him to do, as well as a subscribe function where fans can put their email and get news and updates about his site as well as his work. And then we have his music, and then this link right here goes to his SoundCloud. And then we have a countdown clock for his album that will be released at the end of May. And then below that, we have the rest of his songs that he has, all of them right there. And then his media. So we have photos that David gave to me to put on the site, as well as a music video below that. And then in booking, next slide. In booking, we have just information that someone can put in there to book David Byers to play for them at any show they want, which they can get in contact with Brian, who will go in more in detail about social media.
Yeah, so thanks, Julian, for taking care of the website, which I thought you did a really great job of. But so when we talked about social media, Dave had already been pretty prominent on social media. But so what we did is we kind of just came in, and once we knew the date of the release of the song, we were talking with him, and we wanted him to post, a good week in advance, stating that there was going to be a song release, and now kind of getting some momentum, getting some build up, some excitement amongst fans. And then once the song came out, we went on Instagram, Twitter, a bunch of tweets, getting those retweeted, reposted, and sharing it on those different platforms just to get more followers. And from the start, he had about working with us, he had about 850 followers. Now he has about 872 on Instagram, and when we started with him, he had around 1,000. Now he has 1,034 followers on Twitter. And then next we have Ann Carey from our legal team. She's going to talk a little bit about what she did.
Hey guys, how's it going? My stuff is kind of boring because it's just mostly paperwork, but it's important. So our main priority first was to make an operating agreement within our group that we all liked and agreed to sign upon, and then make an agreement with our artist that he agreed on, that everything was good, that what we expected from him and what he expected from us. And then we moved into our PROs, which we did Sound Exchange and BMI. BMI was free to sign up for, so that's why I chose it, other than ASCAP or SISAC. And then I chose CD Baby because I heard a lot about it, heard really good reviews about it. So we chose CD Baby as our distributor. So that's pretty much everything about legal. And so following that, we have our show, which will be talked by Brian.
Yeah, so Dave just performed the other week at the Willow. It couldn't have been done without the help from Free Flow Records and Platinum Sound Production, who also helped us out in this. And we got the design, the cover, the poster design done by Sean, who Bridget from Platinum Records, or Platinum Sound Productions, helped us with. And here's just a little clip from his show at the Willow to kind of give you a feel of how he is on stage. Yeah, so that's just like a little clip of how you could see his presence on stage and how he's able to connect with an audience and really show that delivery that he's capable of showing. So yeah, moving forward at Dazed Records and working with Dave's State of Mind, we really want to focus on Dave and getting him back in the studio, because that's where he really shines, where he's really able to just get into his zone and be as creative as possible. Because when he gets those thoughts in his mind, he wants to get up on a mic and just show what he could do. So that's something that we really want to emphasize moving forward, is the production and getting him recorded and getting those people around him to make those beats and make those songs following his creative vision. And then also something that we really want to highlight. I know these are rough numbers on the graphic, but we really want to. I think a thing that we struggled with is marketing him, and I think that's something that can always grow. And moving forward, marketing is something that we definitely really want to emphasize, so that we get more followers, we get more people engaged, and we get more plays, more views. And I'm just really excited and honored to have worked with Dave, and really excited to see what he does in the future. So thank you guys for having us. We're Dazed Records.
The one thing I want to point out, and this is very important because a couple of the other groups did this also, it's very important for us to see the face of the artist. On the website, that picture that you have up right there is the only picture where I kind of get to see his face. every other image is blurry, soft, something else is going on. So I don't really get a I can't really tell what the guy looks like. I mean, I get the artistry behind it and the artistic value, this, that, and the other, but I want to see his face. I want to see who he is. So that's very important. I do like the website. I think the website is great. I was just checking it on my phone. It translates very well. I'd be careful of putting an empty calendar on the bottom.
Okay.
I think if you don't have any dates, or if you have one date in a month, then just put that one, whatever that show is. You don't need to go into a whole bunch of empty dates. Yeah, and more than 6 pictures I think would be awesome.
Okay, thank you.
I was going to say almost the exact same things about the calendar and about the picture. And in terms of how that reflects on your presentation, I thought you started off really strong by saying, who likes Frank Ocean, Kendrick Lamar? Yay, everyone got excited. And then I felt you stopped talking about the artist for a long time, and we're talking more about your group and what you did. And I know it's a hard balance because this is a class and we need to know what you did, but I wanted to hear more about the artist, and it wasn't until you showed the video and the live show that I really felt like I started to get there. So I would front load the presentation with that so that people get excited about your artist. But otherwise, I thought, well done.
Just a comment on your website. Functionality-wise, this is probably the best website that I've seen tonight. However,
That's a responsive site.
yeah, it is a responsive site. Just functionality, though. If I go to the home, if I click on home, I make this massive effort to scroll all the way down, and that's great. I see a lot of content. But then each time I click on music, shows, media, booking, it reloads and takes me to a whole new page. Functionality-wise, if I could click on shows and it would scroll me all the way automatically down to that calendar or that space, it would just be a little bit more intuitive. So just that's a functionality piece. I think, one of the things that I would ask of any group would be the flexibility and the confidence to assess where an artist is, either content-wise or just career-wise, because knowing this artist, I know how much content he has. Your job was not to encourage and to pat his little head and say, you can do it, you can record. Mm-hmm. He does that on his own. So your job is to say, like, okay, I guess we don't need to do that part. We need to get into this fan engagement piece. We need to get him out and get FaceTime with the fans constantly. And I don't know that connection was made, but just the self-awareness piece of, like, what can we do for this guy, this individual right here, not what are we best at, that kind of thing.
Thank you.
I thought the song was great. I thought the hook was great. I thought you might enhance the hook with some vocal harmonies, but I thought he was quite compelling. I love the bass player particularly. I thought it was a pretty well done recording too. Somebody worked on the site today, because when I saw it this morning and this early afternoon, there was nothing on the show's site. You kind of fixed it, right? Somebody did some work today?
Yeah, we.
Updating it every day.
It got better. So it's working a little more. At least there's content for every section. So there was no video on the media page this morning. You added that, so that's good, obviously. But the link off to the SoundCloud site, I won't complain about that too much, since you did embed all the videos as well, all the songs as well. So I think that's the way to go. Keep the people on the site. So I thought it's a pretty good job. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, the site has to be the be-all and end-all, really. That's where everything is. Everything you do, socials, et cetera, should lead people to the site. They should just be able to go there for everything they need. I guess I'm not gonna say a lot right now because I know we're in a hurry, but I thought that the artist was more pro than the project. I thought the artist was more pro than the group, and that was that you didn't do him a service there. Also, do your research about your services that you engage with. I want to know why CD Baby, not just because somebody said it was good. I want to know why CD Baby versus anything else you could have chosen, and there are lots of choices, and there are good reasons to choose one or another. Same with BMI. It's not just free to sign up. BMI and ASCAP are 6 of one, half dozen of the other, depending on your needs. So, justify it, rationalize it. Let me understand what kind of thought went into the decision-making process. That would be very helpful. Thanks.
I thought you guys had a great, confident, fast-paced presentation style. Mm-hmm. It was fun to watch. So thanks, guys. Sorry to cut off the applause. Dazed Records. We have 2 to go. So, Emo is going to cap it off with the spectacular final presentation. But before we get there, we have Bywater Records. Their artist is another loyal student who was in the intro class last semester, Caitlin Harris. And their manager is Beth Cohen.
Hi, guys. I'm the manager, Beth, just like Lo said, and we are Bywater Records. Our mission is to produce music of the utmost quality and provide outstanding entertainment to people who love music as much as we do. The artist we partnered with is Caitlin Harris. She is from the greater New Orleans area. She has been singing and playing instruments since she was 9 years old. After attending a creative arts high school, she came to Loyola, where she is now a popular and commercial music major. She enjoys pop, R&B, house, hip-hop, jazz, gospel, and trap. Her inspirations include Amy Winehouse, Tori Kelly, and Chance the Rapper. When we partnered with Caitlin, she already had a presence on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our focus was to have new content posted, whether it was photos of her or videos from her various performances. Prior to working with us, she did not have a website, so that was our goal, was to create a website for her, which I'll talk about now. The website we created for her, we kept it very simple. We used Wix, and we have a contact page, biography, and can you click on it? Yeah. We want to emphasize Caitlin and her music and not have many distractions from that. So as you can see, we have an about, a bio, an artist statement, a contact page, and all of her social media linked. I'm going to pass it on to Eli now to talk about her video and her song.
Cool. Thank you, Beth. So, as discussed, our artist is Caitlin, and I'm sure most of you guys know her. And so I'm going to talk about some of her online presence and what we did to that, particularly in terms of SoundCloud and YouTube. So basically, she hasn't posted anything on SoundCloud in 2 years. So we wanted her to have an original, well, it's not an original track, but something under her name. So that was very important. And she has like over 1,000 listens on that, which is great. And then in terms of YouTube, she's in terms of YouTube, she has a lot of various views and engagement, and we wanted to add something that was a little more professional that she could use to market herself. And Caitlin's very active in all this stuff and very aware of it, and so basically she's more active on YouTube than SoundCloud, which is great. So she has a visual and online presence, but there's mixed engagement. So this video now has over 400 views, which is great, and it was done very professionally. So one of the things was repertoire, obviously, and Caitlin's been performing for a very long time, so she's aware of what she likes. So we allowed her to pick a cover she was familiar with, and one of the things that we emphasized was bringing out the artist and her natural element, which is also something Caitlin's very good at. So the video features her and just a guitarist, and we're gonna watch a little bit of it now. I'm gonna try and watch some of it now. So maybe not. Avery, you want to talk about some legal stuff?
Okay, so as you know, Kaylin chose to do a cover, so we had to get a mechanical license to distribute that. So we decided to go with Louder because they specialize in song covers. And then for our PRO, we registered her with CSAC, and then we also registered with Sound Exchange to get a copyright on the master recording. Now here's Mateo to talk about the live show.
Thank you, Avery. Well, originally for the live show, we were gonna book Caitlin gig, but seeing as she was already established by the time we partner up with her, she was already gigging like once or twice a week. We decided to just take over one of the shows and promote it. So we contacted Winter Circle Productions for the flyer, and we promoted the show April 22nd at the Republic, opening for Somo. And we had the email list on the merch table so people would sign up. We got a bunch of emails out of that, and there's a recording of the show on Caitlin's Instagram, which you can see on the screen. Yeah, so I'm gonna hand the mic back to Avery. He's gonna tell you about the future of the company.
So our goal as Bywater Records and the goal for our artists is to make Caitlin Harris a household name. And with her talent and skill, this shouldn't be too hard to accomplish. Even though radio success is not our primary focus, we would push Caitlin to begin to tell more of her own story and develop a more artist personality so she can gain a stronger connection with her fans. And we would do this by maybe having her involved in nonprofit organizations, as well as maybe becoming a spokesperson for a specific cause. And I think these choices would help us and her promote her music career. Thank you.
We're gonna try the music video again. Or maybe not. Sorry about that.
Cool. Just the hard copy.
Couldn't resist it. Couldn't resist him.
Yes, that's awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
All right.
Yeah, why don't I recognize that?
That's what I did with that.
That's right. Because I remember meeting him, and I was like, I need to know about that. And so I looked it up, and that's where it's from.
We're Bywater Records. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay. So my main I have two main things. One is, as a record label, you should have a copy of the video on your hard drive. You should just have that. You shouldn't be relying on YouTube, especially given the presentation. And two, in my opinion, presentation was kind of all over the place. It just felt kind of sloppy. I mean, I'm looking at Gmail. I'm looking at, I don't know what was going on at one point. So, I mean, and that just reflects on everything. I mean, I think your artist is dope. I think you have a great artist, and her voice is beautiful. I think the video you showed me of her performing was great. And that's pretty much where that stops at.
The website was was terrible. You have one video, you have a short bio, you have no photos, nothing about any gigs. Very simple site. There's no connection, there's no blogging, there's skimpy bio, no lyrics. Also, it has a copyright, CaitlinHarrisMusic.com. Is that really the copyright holder of that site? I doubt it. I don't know about the social media stats. There's nothing about the guitar player. It's a duet recording. I thought the video was pretty good because I saw it earlier today, and the way that the camera circles the two of them was nice, and the way she would turn occasionally and change the whole perspective I thought was very clever. But, you know, you need maybe something about the guy, you know, somewhere about who is this person. The singer is obviously very talented. She does have these vocal stylings and affectations that she does tend to overuse. Every note is somehow affected, every single note. Not one is not affected. So I think as she gets a little more used to performing and a little more popular, she may back off on some of the regular use of those affectations. They'll be more effective if they're used less. But still, she's a great artist. You have a little trouble with your presentation. We understand that. Some of that was not your fault. Maybe some of it was, but still, you know, we have a little work to do with this artist and with this group. Anybody else? Elizabeth, go ahead.
Yeah, not to harp on this, but you just always have to be prepared for everything going wrong when you're giving a presentation. So always have extra copies of anything that's online. And if you see that someone is having technical difficulties, you've just got to keep going. Someone else has to jump in and just start talking so things don't stop. Okay?
Yeah, you represent your artist. So your artist is relying on you for their success or failure. You are the only externality that can, you know, against chaos or entropy or anything else. So you got to be on it. So yeah, I'll harp on it. Somebody made the comment, she and her you didn't want to get anything on the website that might get in the way of she and her music. But all the other stuff on an artist's website isn't in the way of the music. It's in the support of the music and the service of the music. It's growing the artist's revenue streams. It's not just peripheral noise. So there needs to be a strategic focus on the website. Again, I'm going to say this to your group, just like I said it to a lot of groups. You make decisions. I need to know why you're making a decision. Decisions can't just be backed into, why did you pick Wix, of all things? Why did you pick Wix for your website? Seems like a lot of unconscious decision making, which concerns me. I think that we need to drag all these decisions we make. We got to drag all these strategies that we come up with out of the realm of the unconscious into the conscious. Know why we're doing these things. What is the intentionality behind that which we are spending our time, our energy, our money on? Very, very important to know that. I was concerned by this idea that we got a bunch of emails. Don't you know how many? Aren't you guys counting, measuring? How many emails did you get for that performance? Important to measure. We measure stuff, okay? And it's a big deal. I thought the execution was a little rough for you guys. You know, I know you had technical troubles, but you guys have to pick it up from there. You can't cave. You can't fall apart. You can't tail off and fumble your way through. Also, she did a cover, and you have a music video of the cover. How did you deal with the sync license on that? I heard you talk about getting mechanical, but how did you get the sync? You synced music to video. Another person's composition to video. You require a sync license. How'd you do that? You negotiated a sync with Amy Winehouse's publishing company?
No, he did not.
Okay, so you are copyright criminals?
Nope, just
No, the answer is yes.
Not educated.
Yes, you may be unconsciously copyright criminals, but you are copyright criminals just like lots of people are. It's okay. But no, again, from the unconscious to the conscious, okay? At least know what you're doing, know what your exposure is, know what you'll do if you're busted. What do you do? Right? What's your strategy? Got it?
YouTube will take that down.
Oh, yeah. And that concerns me that a music industry group doesn't know that. It didn't address it as an issue. You guys are supposed to be professionals, not from 4 years from now, but from the day you got here. So that's really important. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, you guys. All right, one group to go, and I want to especially thank this group for being so patient. They've been waiting all night. Before we have our last group, I want to thank UP, Kate, Elizabeth, Billy, John, and Jay Crudy, who's in the video booth. Thank you guys for coming out. It's a hard-working faculty, so to get them out here for 3 hours on a Sunday night is a big deal. And also thanks to all of you. I'm going to think about this before next semester, but if I had to decide right now, I would say I'd love to do it again this way, because I think it's a lot cooler than doing it in the classroom. And I think all the groups that presented, there was something to like about every single one of them. So give yourselves a hand for a semester of work. All right, final group. You guys ready to rock? Emo Records. Their artist is 2 Loyola students under the name Venetian Spliff. Their manager is Elena Bryan.
Hi, we are EMO Records. It stands for Entertainment Music Opportunity. We're not actually emo. Well, that's debatable, but that's cool. And we are here to present to you Venetian Spliff. Wait, who? Okay, raise your hand. Does anyone know John Scott? Show of hands. Anyone know Alexis Martin? Oh, okay, cool. Well, first, I'll talk about John Scott. 3 words to describe John would be talent, drive, and magnetism. He's been in 4 different groups alone this year. He started, I think, 2 of them himself, organized everything. He's released 7 songs on his SoundCloud and has over 850 Instagram followers on his Instagram, John Scott Music, before we even met him. He's been playing guitar for as long as he can remember, which is apparently 8 years. As far as drive, as I said, he's super proactive about organizing his own shows, which is really impressive. When we hooked up with John and Alexis, they were already in the process of planning a show, which we helped them to promote, as we'll hear Sophie talk about later. So he seeks out his own performance opportunities, which is really valuable in an artist. Lastly, magnetism. Personally, I knew the name John Scott before I actually knew John Scott. Maybe it's just because it's kind of like a John Scott, I don't know. It's kind of a memorable name, at least to me. But he became one of my best friends, and it's been such a pleasure to work with him. And we've all become really good friends in the process. So next, Alexis Martin. Also, you got your talent. All right, so Alexis has been producing music for over 5 years. He's been playing the bass for 8 years. And he's been rapping apparently since infancy, which, I don't know. Okay, anyways, 335 SoundCloud followers and over 1,400 on Instagram, which is really impressive. In the recording studio, he is super just beyond adequate. He basically took over the TA's job when we had our recording session and showed us all these crazy tricks. I don't know anything about that, so I was really impressed personally. Another word to describe Alexis is innovation. The things that he's doing with music, the songs that I've heard on his SoundCloud, just besides the one that we produced this year, are really something else. Like I remember something he dropped this year had the like iMessage noises in it, and he like put video game noises. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Nothing? Like the whoop thing? Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's really cool. That's really innovative. He's always bringing something new and creative to the table, which is really important in an artist. And lastly, you've got authenticity, which is kind of an interesting word, and let me explain what I mean by that. Alexis is a really authentic person because he really puts everything he's got into his music, and he's kind of the kind of person who wears his emotions and his feelings on his sleeve, so when you're listening to his music, you know that you're really getting Alexis Martin. Like, there's no fakeness, there's no lying or anything like that. And one thing that really illustrates that is when we were in the recording studio, I think we did like 15 takes of his rap, which you'll hear in a minute here, and he just couldn't really get it together. And then the last one, he was like, Elena, can I just like look at you? Can I rap it to you? And so he was looking at me through the window while we were recording it, and he just did it one time and it was done. Like, that's all it took, was just actually telling someone his feelings. So that's something really special. And together, they are Venetian Spliff. So this is their brand, and this is kind of the image that inspires their brand. You'll see more of this later, but take special note of like the graffiti and kind of neon urban look that they have going. You'll see that throughout the presentation. So moving on from that, you're probably thinking, oh, they sound so great, so like, why wasn't this a piece of cake? Well, let me tell you. So in the music industry, as you guys probably know and have learned this year, there's a lot of competition. In such a close-knit program and musical community, everyone is trying to get their sound heard, and so really like trying to make someone stand out and make someone actually want to listen to them later is a really hard thing to do, so that was definitely a challenge that we faced. As far as collaboration, John and Alexis have very different styles to begin with, so coming up with something that fit for both of them, because John is mostly rock and Alexis is more like alternative hip-hop kind of electronic, so like finding a way to mix those styles effectively was difficult, but hopefully you'll like what we came up with. And then lastly, creative compromise. Both of these people and all the people in our group are all really creative people, and so we brought a lot of ideas to the table every single meeting we had. So learning how to kill our darlings and kind of decide, well, we can't do everything, and you know, monetizing our time properly was kind of it was an issue for us, but we got over it. I mean, we made it here, so. All right, so now you're gonna see kind of the results and what we did. So we're gonna show you our website and our video real quick. So this is our website. It is a Tumblr page, which we'll talk about why we chose to do that later. But it kind of, we thought, represents their brand, and this is what they wanted out of it. So we have home, about, lyrics, Muted Green, which is a song we produced this year, and then music video. Alrighty, we're just gonna watch a little bit, see how it goes. Oh, what was that joke you told me on the streetcar that one time about the fish swimming upstream?
Okay, so there's two fish.
Oh, yeah. I remember it already. Oh, my God.
There's two fish.
I'ma take my time because I know they won't give it back. Give it back. I'ma take my time because I know they won't give it back. Give it back.
Just say it back, relapse, backtrack. Remember when I used to keep that pack in my backpack? Duffel bags full of stacks in the back of the class with some grass, aiming at you like an 8-track. Watch where you step in, please be cautious. Honestly, I don't have other options. Lyric going tough, you could catch me in the mosh pit, knocking out these bars like I'm escaping prison boxes. Awesome.
All right, so on that note, Cyanne's gonna tell you about how we cultivated and achieved the image that we wanted to work with for Venetian Spliff.
Hey guys, I'm Cyan. So for the video choice itself, we chose stop motion because actually when I asked John and Alexis like what they wanted to do with the video, they're like, I don't know. So I like took that as like they're the type of people that they're very go with the flow and very creative and very experimental, very innovative. So we chose stop motion so we could really show their personalities because they're two very like goofy and like carefree people. So we really wanted to embody that in the stop motion video. Also with like I'm gonna take my time. They use their time freely and without regrets. And for the graffiti and like the industrial look of the video, they really wanted to pretty much just like embody just like free spirits and just like making something out of nothing. Like the I don't know thing, like they made something out of, I don't know, and like putting in different ideas, and like we all put in different ideas into the video. also for the song itself, they made like the beats out of like using bottle caps and empty like pans and like pens and stuff, which I thought was like pretty cool. Also to like showcase their like how creative they are, John and Alexis, they're from two different places, but like extremely creative places. Like John's from California and Alexis is from Miami. So like bringing that together really like cultivated the video. Also, they're just like two very like pretty awesome people who can like take two different genres of music and blend it into one to make it sound like very alternative rap slash like guitar-ish, bluesy. So Julie's gonna talk about more of the creative process.
Hey everyone, so the creative process with this project was relatively very smooth. The first thing was picking a song, and we kind of sat around, listened to some of their stuff, and we really thought that the song we chose like embodied them, their image, because like Cyan said, they made the beats by dropping a binder in a lipstick or banging a Sharpie in a cup, and we thought that that brought out their innovative side while still combining Alexis's hip-hop background and John's rock background. And then the next thing was the recording session, which went very smoothly, and it was kind of the song we didn't really know exactly how it was going to sound until we were in there, which was a unique thing. And it really built up, and Alexis did a great job editing it, mixing it, and all that stuff. And then the video shooting was kind of the same thing. We kind of just met up. They did what they felt would be cool, and I think it came out really well. So Sophia is going to talk about the merch.
Hi. So what I did for merch was because we did a Tumblr blog. A big thing on Tumblr is vaporwave aesthetics, and so we thought that would fit well with their image. And so I hired a Loyola graphic designer, and I asked her to pick something that she thought would fit their look, and she designed this. And we made a shirt. We made shirts. We made 10 of them. And when we printed it, it actually came out backwards. But we liked it because when you take a selfie, it is like normal, or when you look in the mirror, it's normal. So we actually liked the idea a lot, and we kept it. And so we sold 7 of the 10 shirts, and that's where some of our money came in. So we made $30 in the end, and we gave 85% to the artists because they really deserved it. So here's Sophie on the live show.
Hi, I'm Sophie. So our live show was a house party performance with a bunch of other Loyola artists, and John and Alexis pretty much planned that all on their own. All we really did was kind of just invite our friends and spread the word through them to get more people to come, and it was pretty successful. There was probably around 100 people that came, so that's that. And so here is Melanie to talk about some of the results of our project.
Hi guys, I am going to talk about the statistics and like the results and the artist success. So we've set up a Facebook page. They didn't really have like they were each different artist. They each had their own thing that they did. So this was really more of like a collaborative effort. And so we made them an Instagram, like a Venetian split Instagram, and it had 60 followers, or they got 60 followers on it. They both had separate Facebook pages for their own music, so we made a Facebook page for them, and we got 30 likes on it, and we got 30 follows. And we also put the song on SoundCloud, and it got over 100 plays and likes. And the video that we put on YouTube got 15 plays. And we set up a mailing list, and right now it says 7 people, but it's growing, and it grew over to 20 because of the party. And yeah, so, and then with the artist success, what they got out of it is that we were able to have them record. So they got recording experience. They now have a recorded song that they did together. With like them in the party, we were able to allow them to have greater access to fans and allow them to really grow their fan base, especially with like the Facebook and the Instagram and everything, especially together. And by them coming together, they allowed themselves to, widen their fan base, because John's fans now know about Alexis, and Alexis's fans now know about John and their works together. And, they got a little bit of notoriety. I mean, you got cool, like, T-shirts and merch that are now associated with them. And, yeah, so we were able to create a little bit of buzz. And back to Elena.
So the question is, where do we go from here? We've had some success this year, especially with getting this new kind of sound, it's John and Alexis's sound, out there, and seeing how they work together and how we work together as a group. And after talking to the artists, they're still probably going to work together, but they wanted to focus more on their own personal careers rather than Venetian Spliff as a direction. So in that sense, we probably won't be moving forward together as a company, but they now have a support system for both of their separate careers, and they have the gained notoriety and gained recording experience and performance experience after that. So thank you for listening. Thanks for sitting through so many presentations.
So did y'all change the website today? Because the one that's posted in the documents is very different.
It's real different.
I changed it, yeah.
Much better. Same thing true for the video. Video is completely different, right? So I thought that was an improvement. I think you could make more of a personal connection on the site. Same thing I've been saying about all the other sites too, just more about the artist. But you did make a much greater attempt than the earlier posts, so I appreciate that. Anybody else have anything?
Well, John's point that he's been making about this need for personal content on the website. The artist, it's their site, it's their outlet. They need to be present, whether it's connecting through blog posts or not is not important, but they need to bring themselves to the site. You talked about authenticity. That's how to convey authenticity. I think that it's great that the artists, seek out their own opportunities, but again, I need to hear what you're doing to help them strategically, what you're doing to change their course strategically, or to improve things. You can just take what they're doing and increase efficiency or increase effectiveness. You mentioned that one of them had 1,000 likes on Instagram, which was impressive, but why is that impressive? What's being done with those 1,000 likes? And again, when you guys are going over your statistics as to what you did numbers-wise, you were like, how many numbers you got, but it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 disengaged people. If you have 500 really engaged people, you're going to make a great deal of money and you're going to make a great deal of progress. Where's the meaning in these numbers? That's again, I'm going to bring that up as an ongoing theme. I love that the roll with it attitude you took on the T-shirt. That turned out to be pretty cute and pretty smart. It worked out. That's a management move, if I've ever seen one. That's like, oh, we screwed this up. How do we recover? And look, it actually turned out to be popular. That was very interesting. So, I think this is a likable project, a likable artist. I'm surprised that they don't want to continue. But yeah, there was something good about the track and something good about the video, and I could see it. I could see it doing something.
The track was interesting because at one point you had this girl who's scatting behind the chorus, and then that was interesting. And then, but it's a little bit strange that then it went into this kind of strange guitar solo at the end. So the production, I would say, was a little mismatched, and it was one of the things the live gig. There's no experience gained for you by letting the artist book a house party. That just doesn't do you any good at all. Your experience is to book a concert, promote it, make some decisions about it. Just delegating that to the artist is not a learning experience. So And I also don't think the artist is always the best judge of their own work. And that's why we do have management companies and record companies and other people who work with artists about trying to focus their work. But anyway, I thought the presentation was nice, the Prezi was good, so I appreciate that. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just think you have a little bit of visual mismatch because the video looks great and it makes sense with this logo you've got here, and I think it makes sense with what you have on the t-shirt, but then what you have on the website doesn't really match. And again, we're looking at two different websites, which is a little weird. What was in your presentation is different than what we're seeing right now.
The new thing has an extra F, so if you want to see it on there.
The what?
The new website
Has
is
an extra F?
Yeah, so on Spliff there's
Okay.
3 Fs.
Either way, I don't see those things all meshing together. I think you need a little more continuity because they did have, I think, a very authentic image that you did capture at points and then not so much at other points. I also just don't know that Tumblr is the best choice. You've got so many tabs. All of the content is centered right in the middle, very small. And I just don't know that there's a whole lot you can do about that. So I would think about that too.
I don't have much, everything they said.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to say I thought you were. You do that, Diane? A group effort? Yeah, it's really good. I thought the videos in general this semester were all pretty good, but yours really stood out. You all should check it out if you haven't watched the whole thing. Thank you all so much. I got to say one quick thank you also that I forgot before to Lexi Paquette and Colin and Ray for helping out tonight. And we'll see you in class tomorrow.